Well, this is different. It is 7 p.m. on a Sunday, and we are live. Firstly, thank you to everyone who said that this time would be much better, and I am conscious of the fact that this starting at 8 instead of 9 p.m. for most of my audience, probably a good idea. Yes, lovely to see you all again. It has been actually not a busy week, but we have absolutely tons of things to cover because, of course, there was we didn't get through everything last week because we've been running a backlog for like 3 weeks now. I am very excited though because this evening we have something really very special. Before I bring in my guest, I wanted to let you all know something, and thank you very much, Stephen, for subscribing, and thank you very much, Neuro Cantata, for the $10. Says W journalism over the national final season. Can't wait for the pre-party and contest coverage. And on that point, thank you, Marino, for the subscription. I have, of course, there has been buzz this week, as people know. The accreditation process has begun, and both myself and Jay and Cynthia have all received accreditations for the contest. All of us, all three of us, received accreditations. This is, I guess, a relief. But with that, actually, the main thing I wanted to talk about was more about what it means for the channel's editorial line and so on. And the answer, I want to reassure you, is nothing. It means nothing for the channel's editorial line. We got to this point by not changing who we are, not apologizing for who we are. And we're going to continue to do that. And I am, of course, pleased that we have been given that option. That said, the live stream setup means we are still going to have like a sort of Gabe house in Vienna. But yeah, I just wanted to start with that news because obviously it is big news. It's very relevant to what we'll do. It makes covering things a lot easier. So no, not the gay house. Well, I mean, it's Eurovision. There'll be plenty of gay houses. But mine will not be one of them. In any case, I have a guest with me today. Sadly, Jay was unable to make it, but I am joined, in fact, by the one and only, if his camera will kindly appear on screen, James from ESC Insight. Welcome, James, back to the stream. It's lovely to see you again. How are you?
I'm good. Hello. Hi, everyone. And, firstly, fantastic that you got accredited and that Cynthia and Jay did as well. That's fantastic for you lot, that we don't have to go and take trams over hill and over dale just to see you during the Eurovision. That's nice. And also, obviously, slightly offensive on the ESC Insight side as we have almost the same number of accreditations and we're meant to be a big website and you're just some channel. So
yeah, well, I'm just some guy with insufficient reach, James,
Some guy.
Thank you so much, Kira, by the way, for the 99 ZAR. That's a currency I've never seen before. ZAR.
Oh.
Rand, I believe. South African Rand. Thank you very, very much. And also Ingvild for the 119 Norwegian krona. We need voices like yours in Vienna. What do you think will happen to Felicia? So, I mean, this is actually an interesting thing. We're talking about not changing coverage. I think a conversation needs to be had about artists and free speech. Kind of expected this to happen at some point. I may need to make that video sooner than I expected, so look out for that in a few days. Thank you very much, Zachard Utah, for the bits. It's all happening everywhere now. I feel like that was quite a big bombshell to drop on people right at the start of the stream. We should give them a rundown, James, of what we're planning to do, and we'll come to the first thing in a moment. But
yes,
there are still 4 national finals to talk about. Well, 3 national finals and San Remo, which isn't really a national final.
Good. Well done.
So we have Romania tonight. We're going to be talking about Romania. We're going to be talking about San Marino, both of which significant discourse, and Portugal, actually all 3 of which have significant discourse around them. San Remo is one of the most talked about shows in Europe in terms of the domestic market, so I'm sure there's plenty of discourse around that too. And James is the best person to talk to about that. He was there. He was part of the press that was, of course, the jury. The press that voted for Dito nella Piaggia to win, but we'll come to that. Dratopia, I'm probably not going to come to the Bucharest pre-party just because my bank account's hurting a lot at the moment, and I am super, super, super tired. So I just need a few weeks at home to rest and recover, keep videos going, and so on. So we're going through those 4 to show.
Party.
Sorry, go on, James.
Bucharest P party. I didn't even realise there was one. So great that Romania's got one.
Yes, indeed, there will be a pre-party in Bucharest. I haven't seen much announcements about who the artists are, but it is nice to see that, Romania is really making a fist of this. It makes you more confident that it's not just going to be a flash in the pan return. We'll discuss that. First, though, we have something very, very special. Now, featured prominently on previous occasions on this channel has been the model. The model, made by Mr. James himself. Thank you very much, Kieran, for the £2. The model is I will let the creator explain. How would you define the model, James?
How would I define it? Well, it's the 3rd year we've done it, and basically it's designed to answer one simple question, which is what would happen if Eurovision was held right now in this moment as we're talking? What would the scoreboard actually look like?
Based on the knowledge we have.
Based on the knowledge we have, exactly. It doesn't know what, Leakin Hastings staging is going to be, or it doesn't know what Hegard's vocal performance is going to be like in May, but we have all the songs, we have all the odds, we have all of the initial community rankings things, and we can collate all of that, and you can turn it into a prediction using the thing I built called the model. It kind of just translates all that data into a piece of, turns opinion into data is what it really does, and creates a result.
And what's very exciting tonight, and I'm going to put it on screen, is we have a live reveal, Eurovision style. This is what we're going to be starting with tonight. An actual Eurovision style reveal of the points in the model. This has not been done before, but it is very exciting. Just so you guys know, we're going to do the final result tonight. All of the breakdowns are going to be on ESC Insight tomorrow. Is that correct, James?
Yes, that is correct, Gabe. Everything on tomorrow. That includes all of the semi-final information. So because of time, we're not going to do both semi-finals and then all the final. So you've got 25 songs on the board. You can work out which 10 haven't got through, at least from there. But for all of the numbers and stuff, that's going to be on ESC Insight tomorrow. I've got like a big, long piece about what it's saying from the start. Kind of like the first indication of what Eurovision's going to look like as a contest, which is always really cool. I love this time of year. It's like autism Christmas Eve.
Yeah, well, indeed. You're allowed to say that. I'm not. You've got the certification and everything. Just quickly, thank you, Einfach Leon, and thank you very much, Coastatopia, for your subscriptions and your super chats. The mission is paying off more and more, Coastatopia. We will keep going. The first question is, people are very angry at no Montenegro. So maybe you could just give us a teaser. Was it close?
Okay. Do you know what? I'll give you this as a piece. It'll be out tomorrow. Montenegro missed the final by 4 points.
4. Okay. There we go.
It's 11th, 4 points off. It is the closest song to the final that wasn't in the final. I really like Montenegro. I actually met Tamara last weekend when we were doing Melfest weekend, which I was actually hosting, which was kind of nuts. So I met her then and did an interview with her then, and she's very nice, and her performance was great. This is where I kind of say the model is a tool, and I've got an opinion which isn't the model's opinion. I hope it will be there, but we'll see. Montenegro hasn't qualified in 11 years, and that counts for something as well.
That's true. Albania as well. That's the other one. If I'm just sense checking this purely based on vibes, Albania, and this has been pointed out in chat too, Albania is the other one that I'd maybe expect to be here that isn't. But again, all of these details will be in there tomorrow, so everyone will see everything. So, shall we start revealing these points, and we'll sort of talk through as we go on. So it'll go. I think it is in alphabetical order.
Yeah, all the juries are in alphabetical order in this system, so it's all just going to run through. Obviously, Gabe, if there's anything that you want to talk about, just hit the pause button and we'll talk about it. But this is a Eurovision voting sequence, so everyone can sit here and enjoy it.
There we go. And the first 12 points for the Greeks who need some hopium. Immediate 12 points for Ferto. I will let it play mostly just because obviously there's a lot of countries to get through. and I guess we'll see if trends start to emerge. And obviously, this does take into account things like historical voting trends and so on. So, for example, Armenia giving high votes to Georgia there, just as an example of the way in which it accounts for that. We should say that while no model and no bookmaker or anything else is perfect, the model did get more qualifiers right than the bookmakers did last year. And I seem to remember it predicted a couple of flops that the bookmakers didn't predict, like Czechia. I think it had Czechia out, didn't it?
We predicted that Czechia would go out on the day of the second semi-final, which was true. We predicted Armenia would go through when it was 14th in the odds. So you should be thankful for that, obviously, that we took you through to the final. And on the Tuesday as well, we called Cyprus out and Iceland in. And there were a couple of things we got wrong. You know, we didn't predict Napa, for example. I don't think anybody did. So we beat the odds, and we've beaten, I think, every other Eurovision fan indicator that exists on qualifier, both years running.
As I'm watching this so far, I'm not seeing many things that surprise me as of yet. I guess it's still early days. We have to wait for some more trends to emerge. Azerbaijan voting at the moment. Something tells me that Armenia isn't going to get anything here. Funny enough.
That model works. If it's giving Armenia something, it's probably wrong.
Yes, indeed. The other thing I was looking out for, to be honest, would be something like a France runaway, which, I mean, we haven't seen yet. To be honest, if anything, this is extremely sort of splayed out and open, as it was last year. I think Czechia fans will be very excited by the way this is going at the moment. But for me, in the UK, I'm a little sad.
Well, we have a very Televote-friendly song this year. It's like totally the opposite to what Remember Monday was.
This is true. I'm also curious because obviously all eyes are on Finland, right? In terms of...
Oh, of course, yeah.
At the moment, I mean, this looks amazing for Czechia, to be honest. This is already, like, that's way better than I would have expected. I am also keeping an eye on Israel there too, because we know that most of the points, let's be honest, are coming from the Televote, rightly or wrongly. Well, wrongly, we know it'll be at least some element of the same situation again. I think this is the thing as well, that with the Televote, once the well is poisoned, it stays poisoned. In my opinion, I don't think Israeli televotes will be seen as legitimate for quite some years.
Yeah, I think the discussion about that once the results are out, that's worth having a discussion. But we'll see where we get to.
Yeah, indeed. I see Germany and the UK and Austria fulfilling their traditional roles as host entries and Big Five by being down the bottom, ready to be cut adrift.
But it is quite close, this point spread. Certainly early on, it's not massive runaways here so far.
Yeah. It's curious for me because I don't know what's going to happen. James has seen this. I haven't.
Yes, that's something we should have mentioned, actually. Gabe has not seen any of this. Nobody other than me has seen this. So I know what's happening roughly. Gabe has zero idea. He is reacting just like you guys are. So, you know, if he has a shocked face, maybe you have a shocked face, and you'll all share in the chaos.
And so the French there, that was one of the first big scores I've seen for Israel, actually. And if you remember, France, I think, gave 7 or 8 to Israel and the jury. The song is in French as well, as it was last year. And that's another 12 for Denmark. Oh, yeah. To be honest, I'd lost Denmark a little bit amongst all this because there's so much going on. Maybe we'll pause after 20 countries and just see where we are at a kind of halfway point. See what's surprising us thus far.
Yeah, and we'll see what the chat has to say as well about like what's surprising them. Maybe I can shed some light on some of the things that are showing up on this. Hopefully I can.
For sure. There may be some questions. I have a few at least. Certainly with the current leader. Obviously Sweden does well with the juries, but this one seems a little unexpected to me. Let's put it like that. I will say with that one that just went. So from Israel giving 12 to Luxembourg. This feels like something that maybe has some noise in it from the double 12 they got from Israel in 24. And because there's not that much information available for Luxembourg, that's then going to have an outsized effect, right?
Yeah, couldn't have put it better myself. We only have 2. We have 4 shows in which Luxembourg have competed in modern Eurovision, so the data pool is a lot slimmer. So yeah, there are some compromises that get made in this. But yeah, that's realistically why you're seeing Israel getting a super, super high jury score with them. But I don't think it happens anywhere else.
Yeah. So I'm going to pause it there. We've had 20 countries gone. So the surprises so far, I mean, I'll start with the things I'm not surprised with. Germany and Austria, I think very much expected them to be down there near the bottom. The UK, again, not jury friendly. Things I maybe didn't expect. Sweden at the very top. James, did you foresee that before putting this together?
I did not foresee this before I started, is what I will say. I think the thing to keep in mind that I discovered as I went through all the numbers of this once I did the projection is that Sweden is going to be very, very good at picking up points from almost everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Not like big 12s, 10s, and 8s all the time, because you've got France in there, you've got Australia in there. You can see Czechia and Malta really high up at the moment, and those are both very jury-friendly songs. But it will pick up 4s and 5s and 3s like a freight train.
And that all adds up. I mean, 35 voting countries. If you get 5 per country, all of a sudden you have 175.
Yeah, just like that.
And, that involves coming, 5th, 6th, 7th, in places, which is a lot easier than coming first, of course. Anything else that's surprising me at the moment? Finland is lower than I thought.
Finland is.
What does that say to you?
It says to me that there were some concerns that got raised after the UMK final about the Leakin-Hayton performance. Around whether Petter was getting the right vocal in. There were some conversations about the staging feeling static that I heard from a couple of people. I didn't necessarily agree with all of those things, because some people were really strong on it. But I do think that the performance at the moment has a bit of a jury blind spot.
Okay.
Not going to be hated by the jury. I mean, look, it's up in 8th at the moment, so that's not jury hate at all. But if you're talking about a song to win Eurovision, you've got to have support in both of those camps, right? The jury camp, the public camp. I think Finland has more weakness in the jury camp than the betting odds are giving it credit for.
Okay.
And also, if we think back to 3 years ago, Finland notoriously has a bit of weakness on the juries.
This is true. Senpai Kush, thank you for the €2. And also Kyle Alessandro 5, thank you for the £5. Senpai Kush is shocked Norway and Luxembourg are in the final. I'm not shocked about Norway. I am shocked about Luxembourg. Kyle Alessandro Hive says, SVT rarely changed staging. My system staging is a yawn and pretty uncreative, while we can anticipate somewhere like Australia, France, etc. surpassing. I don't think it's a yawn. I also don't think it will change. It's one of those ones where we know everything already. The other thing is, I don't know, because the entire show won't be shot in widescreen, probably. I don't know yet. It might feel different. In any case, shall we continue with the jury voting?
Yes, let's go.
So, on to Lithuania now. Remember, it's going in alphabetical order. 12. Well, no Baltic friends to give a 12 to. Let's see where it goes. Ukraine. Okay, yeah, that's the kind of thing I could see.
Yeah, it's a relativistic system, so it will do that. It reacts to what songs are in the final, the different makeup of the songs. It's all like a big systems thinking exercise. Yeah. So who was that 12 to? Because that would have been
Czechia just there. That was Luxembourg, and now this is Malta. Now
those things can happen.
And again, another 4, like you mentioned with Sweden. Lots of these little scores.
Yes,
Moldova. I think I know where this 12 is going, James.
Have a guess. Go on.
I think it might be Romania. I feel like we might be able to
really bold shout. I don't know how you could possibly call that. Oh yeah.
Well,
Romania.
I'm shocked. Color me shocked.
Yeah. Well, if they're both in the final, they can guarantee a fair few points. Can't they? They won't be last.
Interesting about this one from Montenegro. Croatia and Serbia are already having points. Maybe I'm a little surprised about that. I feel like they'd probably get at least into the top 3. Finland on 69 right now. Nice. Okay, never mind. It's on 76 now. We're at 6-7, 6-9, 7-6. It's just they're just toying with us at this point.
Magic. It's all like numerology. There's numerology people who always say that like numbers mean something. It's that kind of stuff. Some weird numerology people.
Indeed. And I'm looking at maybe Czechia. No, Australia. Okay. I'm actually worse at these predictions than I thought. I really do think, though, Montenegro's 12's nailed on is going to Serbia. But then
Maybe in the
again,
Televote.
not too much data, right? Because they've been out for a few years.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, they have a little more data than Luxembourg, but there's always a conversation between how thin data is. You don't want to build it up artificially, but that's way too nerdy for this. That's
Oh,
the kind of-
gee. I wonder who will get 12 points.
Ooh. Always a tough one.
Wow. Moldova got 12 points from Romania. Well, I'm shocked, James.
Yeah, it's a major surprise, but these turn-ups can happen. I wonder who San Marino will give their 12 to.
And thank you for 1 point, San Marino. This, if it's actually like this in the juries in May, it will be extremely stressful because this would be wide open even compared to 2025, which was totally wide open.
Top end at the minute. Like, you can see all of those songs in the 100 bracket. When you've got so many in similar brackets, that's, spicy.
This one will be a Finland, surely. Yeah.
Violence.
Okay, I thought that was coming. Oh, that's their first 12, I believe. We've only got 3 countries left already. It's flown by. If they did it this fast in the actual contest, I feel like by this point I'd feel traumatized.
I feel like Krista Björkman would finally have achieved his dream of getting the show under 4 hours.
You know what? Seeing this, I genuinely, I don't think I could tell you because I've got no idea what it's going to do with the televote, to be honest.
I mean, we'll find that out in a second. But
someone asks, and we will pause once the final jury is done, which is happening now. There's a question I have here. Does the model take into account the fact that a lot of fans are going to boycott this year? So, we'll answer that question and then we'll look at our leaderboard after jury voting. Go ahead, James.
Okay. It's hard to really measure it in terms of fans because, to be honest, the majority of Eurovision voting is not us. The majority of Eurovision voting is, well, locals, essentially. It's people, especially in the final, who are going to a work party or a mate's thing or whatever, and they're putting on Eurovision for a laugh or like a social interaction or occasion or whatever. Majority of votes come from that. In the semi-finals, perhaps that comes up a bit more, but then if it's a conversation about turnout doesn't necessarily change how the points were going to be spread. It just means there are fewer people giving the same spread. So in terms of how a 12-1 is constructed, which is what the purpose of this is, I don't think it makes a lot of difference. There's a few things it does take into account, like, you know how the juries have been expanded, Gabe?
Yes.
And 2 of them have to be under 25 now, I believe.
Indeed, yes.
That is taken into account. There is a way of measuring that. So actually the jury to televote split is less extreme in the system to accommodate for the juries being moved a little more towards modern taste. I'm sure that's what the EBU were wanting to do with it. So that's been modeled for, at least as a predictive thing. And there's a couple other things as well.
Yeah. I mean, I will say as well, I'm looking at this one here, by the way. And essentially of the top 7, I would regard 5 of them as very jury-heavy songs. I mean, we'll have to see. Croatia, Malta, Czechia, Australia, France. Denmark, I feel like, is more of a 50-50 split. Sweden, I'm really surprised about. I mean, I'm not sure about its televote potential. I guess we'll find out shortly because the televote is coming next. But I really, really didn't expect to see Sweden at the top of this. I have my emotional attachments to this song now, and if you've watched the video from yesterday, yeah, indeed. So I guess I don't know whether I should make a prediction or something about who's going to win before we go ahead with the...
Tell you what, why don't you come up with, because I think it'll be fun, what's the top 5?
Finland, Ukraine, Israel, France, and Sweden.
In that order?
No, I'm not going to give an order, but I think it'll be those 5.
They're the countries in the top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see if you're right. I know, and I'm trying to keep everything poker faced. So
okay, let's go. I feel genuinely nervous. Right. So the televote points will start in a moment. It'll go from the bottom to the top. It's incredible how just looking at a scoreboard for like a sort of predictive model can make your heart start to go, I remember how I felt when this was going on in Basel. That's why, when we had a similar spread and it was like all of a sudden, I'm sure you remember the feeling of starting to be like, shit. shit as it slowly escalated.
Yes.
Right,
You
here
see
we go.
the cursor? We're on.
Oh, poor Cosmo.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry. The model is not designed to be necessarily an average system. It's designed to try and capture all the extremities. This is one.
Gosh. Dear, oh dear. I mean,
James Newman finally has a friend.
yeah, I mean, I think that'll be tough, but I'm not sure it'll go 0-0. Maybe it'll just get I hope it picks up a few.
I hope it doesn't
6
go
points
0.
for Germany. Congratulations. But roughly what I expected. Come on, Britain. Come on, Britain. Come on, Britain.
Anything?
Yeah!
Yes!
24! We got points.
We got the Kiefer Sutherland points.
Belgium. I'm still surprised Belgium is there, to be honest. Norway. We're very much in the drag still. What a result for the UK.
Yeah, we're not on the bottom at all. You know, we've got countries behind us and everything.
Oh, decent score for Serbia. That's the first big mover. Romania, we'll see what happens diaspora-wise and so on. Against 71. A little on the high side, but I guess we'll have to see what happens. Georgia, 21. Yeah, I mean, again, I think 60. Georgia would be delighted with 60, I'm not sure. 57 for Moldova. I think that's a big underestimation. That's the first one I've been like, okay, I really disagree with that.
Very low in the odds at the minute. I'm not sure how justified, but it is lower there than I think it should be.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things. Is like if the available information is correct, this is what it implies. Doesn't necessarily mean the available information is correct. Still mostly low scores, although I imagine we're about to see a big one for Israel. I imagine in the 200s, I'd say, low 200s. I mean, we'll find out. Italy, yeah, can absolutely see that.
Here we go.
Israel now. What have we got? 277. My gosh. I mean, it's realistic on that front. 277 would be entirely realistic. We'll have to just see if basically anyone above 9th gets 200 points. And I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm going to pause for a second on Greece getting 168 because I'll say that seems low to me. I will point out, before we move any further, 346 would be the lowest, proportionally speaking, one of the lowest winning scores ever. So if Israel ended up with 346, it wouldn't win, even if this model put it top at the current time. We'll see. Ukraine now. Only 161. Interesting. I thought it'd be a little higher, but that does, of course, take us on to Finland, which would need, 230 or so to go top? Let's see what happens. 256. There we go. Eurovision is saved. Eurovision is saved. Thanks, Pitta and Linda. Can you imagine how awkward this stream would have been if Israel had won?
I'll tell you something. I wouldn't have been as smiley going on if I knew.
Oh my God.
Hi everyone, Israel are the winners. Good luck. That's not happened. So that we don't have to confront that reality. But we've still got 7 more countries.
I can breathe a little easier now. And it's 13 for Malta. Just quickly, on Malta, Hunter of Stars says, hold me to this, but Malta either NQ's 2018 style or Q's 2022 Azerbaijan style. I think it'll qualify on both sides, but maybe like 10th and 4th or something, 10th televote, 4th jury, something like that. I've just realized Denmark is next. 223 needed. Let's see what happens. Only 136. It's not enough. Oh boy, I'm getting tense now. I have to say, if there's someone toppling Finland here, 3. James.
What do you mean? I just built the thing. I didn't say give Czechia 3. I didn't say that. It wasn't me. It was my spreadsheet.
Oh, I mean, Czechia does occasionally have some televote bombs, but if it was that hard, I mean,
but there is precedent for this. Zoe May 218-0.
Yeah.
This happens at Eurovision. There is always one song that's got a really aggressive split. And in reverse, remember Poland back in 2016? Michał Szpak was like,
oh yeah, 7
jury
and 222, I believe. It was 7 jury, 222 public.
Yeah, this happens at Eurovision. It looks insane, but it happens.
Well, indeed. We'll go on to, so,
Yeah.
Australia, France, Sweden, Finland. Let's see what you got. Australia. Don't look at the points thing on the right-hand side, by the way, because it will tell you how many points are left available. And that would ruin the surprise. Let's see what happens with France and Sweden now. France! Oh, we're not going to Finland. We're cooked, everyone. We are cooked, although we have to wait and see. Sweden! Oh, God. All our wallets are getting emptied again. It's gonna be 12 euro beers in the Euro Club for the third time in a decade.
Bring me back the Malmo prices. Bring me back the Malmo prices.
I mean, 194, I will say, this is, because it's so open, like, what we should remember, look at these scores now, everyone. 407 would be an astonishingly low winning score.
Really would be.
And so this really is the ultimate example of like televote and jury disagreement, really spread open points. It would be like this year, but on steroids. I have some observations. I think
we can get into them.
Firstly, could I see Sweden getting to 400? Yes. The thing is I didn't see 400 being a position where we might have a winner come from that, you know? 400 seemed very, very low. Like, I was kind of working on the assumption that you have to have a route to 500 if you want to win Eurovision, right? Maybe 480 with a few less countries.
The original kind of situation. I'd say now we're in a world where if you've got a route to 450, you're definitely in the race.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of things I'd say about 407 and Sweden winning and everything. The first one is the model is not necessarily a prediction of May and March, because it's basically saying what March looks like in the lead up to May to give us an idea of maybe what's being undervalued, overvalued by the odds or kind of the discourse, right? So I think as we get closer, the odds will have less risk in them, and so the odds will get more firm and people's opinions will get more firm. And so I do think the winning number will be higher than 407. The second thing I'd say is that with my system, we already know exactly what that performance is going to be like. I think we already know what its ceiling is.
Yeah.
It's maybe around here, a little over 400, 420, 30 maybe on a really good day. But there are other songs, like France, for example, is on 387. We don't know anything about how that's going to be staged. We don't know necessarily how good the live vocal is going to be, but the chances are, given that Monroe is an opera singer, it's going to be good. That's got, in theory, more time to grow. Finland is being priced still with the idea that staging has work to do.
Yeah.
So this changes. The good thing is that the model is updating every week this year, and it changes. So next week, Finland might be top, or France might be top, or something mad might happen at the odds, and I don't know, Furto might be top. It changes week to week. So it's like it's a Eurovision every week to look and enjoy.
Well, we won't put it on the stream every single week just to keep the magic, but I think we should come back and do this again, maybe like just at the start of Eurovision week or something. And do like another live reveal in this style. I will say, right, there's a lot of people. This was two things. Number one, it was excellent rage bait because everyone in chat is mad as hell.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
And number two, that was really tense. I really enjoyed that. Like getting towards the end, I was really nervous. And when I saw Israel go to the top, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, shit.
Yeah, you're like, we're back here again. When I was coding it all up, I hadn't really looked at a Eurovision scoreboard since Basel. And obviously, oh my God. You and I had different experiences of it. You were in Arena Plus with everyone. I was in the press room other day. There was all sorts of tension. You know, there were people whispering in my ear while Israel were top of the board, top of the board, top of the board. Like, what's the fastest exit door?
Oh, God, Jesus.
Yeah, in case, because, you know, we figured that if 30,000 people were coming out of Arena Plus, most of them were going to be a bit mad if Israel had won, and we'd rather not see the outcome of that. So, yeah, that kind of brought me back to the tension I felt. The truth is that the Eurovision scoreboard is a perfect weapon of emotional tension. And as someone who has a degree in script writing for film, I like emotional tension, so I figured we should do this.
But yeah, so this model, of course, we should say at this stage, when it comes to the televote, I believe we had a top two. How many? Did we only have? Was it only Finland and Israel over 200?
Yeah, only Israel and Finland pulled up. I actually have the split results in front of me so that I can talk about this. So yeah, Televote, the top 5 was Israel 277, Finland 256, Sweden 194, France 181, Greece 168.
Okay. And so the other thing I said, I seem to remember, tell me if I'm wrong, during last year, it gets more sensitive to change, doesn't it? The closer you get to the contest. And it gets punchier, essentially.
Faster. Yeah, exactly.
And so you get more extremes. Like, I seem to remember the top score kept going up, essentially.
Yeah,
and the middle the middle starts really fat and slowly thins out as points are distributed, basically pushed upwards.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe it is that it's a tool that takes in data, right? So as the data gets better, it kind of learns in a way. It's not an AI, so I don't want to say that it's like a machine learning thing, but it kind of learns the data a bit more because we are learning more about the songs. So like on rehearsal week, for example, you know, when all the staging photos come out and everyone reads way too much into like, oh, Lazara's on a plinth, she will definitely win the Eurovision.
I remember that. And then her vocal, then everyone heard her vocal was like, oh.
Yeah. Or when Yost showed up with the bird or whatever, like those things have like a massive effect on the odds. I remember they had a photo of Amanda Tenfjord with some chairs, and Greece about trebled its winning probability in about half an hour.
The one I always remember was on the night of the first semi-final in 2017. Finland performed Blackbird by Norma John, shot up to about 4th in the odds to win, and then immediately non-qualified. Like, now, firstly, that was an all-time robbery. I think I may have actually put it in my robbed video. But it shows that every now and then the bookmakers take a swing and miss dramatically.
Yeah, it's not always right. Like, I can say for a fact, we run tests on previous Eurovisions to build this, so it's trained on existing data. And you could run this model anyway, but based on the information we had on the 2025 Grand Final, this would have still called Kai. Because the odds were way over on Kai than they should have been, based on the thing. What it failed to account for was Espresso Macchiato happening, and Espresso Macchiato is the reason Austria won.
Right. So, thanks, Tommy Cash, I guess, unless you're Swedish. Just want to quickly shout out, Bookboo, thank you so much for the 249. Says, my heart could not handle losing to Sweden again. Yeah, I think Finns will be getting some PTSD from if this was the result. And
similar to the 2023.
Thinker2273 says, to James, did you make the scoreboard system all by yourself? It felt incredibly well made. This is douzepoint.app, isn't it?
Yeah, it's douzepoint.app. Really, really good. I found it this week when I was coming up with how we were going to stage this. Really, really good tool. I haven't met the person who makes it. Don't really know anything about it, but it works really well. I would suggest you use it if you want to do something like this.
Everyone is everyone's now just clowning on me because of the fact I said my handle. No, I can't get you out of my handle. A Eurovision song about passing kidney stones. Hunter of Stars says, she said Blackbird don't sing, and the jury said, okay, stay in the semis then. Indeed, that was very sad. Yeah, this is the other thing. Someone points out, because it's trained on previous data, Finland not doing that well with the juries in past years is maybe, because let's not forget, if we hop back a minute to the end of the jury result, which is here, yes. 117 is worse than Cha Cha Cha. I have a hard time imagining Linda and Peter doing worse than Cha 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 did, given that Cha 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 was like a, oh my God, how is it so low kind of moment.
Yeah, with the model, there's obviously, because it's trained on data, as you said, obviously there is an element of if a country does well in the juries repeatedly, it'll do well, vice versa. But there is a metric in there designed to take that out. It doesn't take it out fully because there is bias within the Eurovision system, and understanding where the bias is really the key to being able to make something like this that looks so different to the odds, but is still believable. Like, what I'd say about this is that Felicia has a narrow path to victory. This model shows the narrow path where it could work. And it's interesting that it's showing this now. But if Finland goes up to like 40% odds probability or something else happens, it changes. And it's going to keep on changing. I think it'll change more than ever. I know someone was saying, oh, it'll be leaking hated every week. So what's the point? Yeah, it's not going to be leaking hated every week.
And I don't think it's going to be my system every week either. I think we could see 3 or 4 different ones. Ultimately, we'll have to find out. One thing I think that is interesting is that this has managed to model the sort of Israel televote manipulation, whatever, quite well. 277, I think it was, wasn't it? Which is kind of roughly what I'd expect. It will be lower than last year, and there's a number of factors for that, in my opinion. Chief among them is that a lot of the kind of sympathy story, let's not forget, last year, the singer was a survival of a terrorist attack, singing about moving on with her life. There were still hostages at the time. Those factors are not in play this year. The song is not emoting deliberately on those terms. Noam Betan doesn't have the same backstory that Yuval did. So a lot of the motivating factors are less. So I think it makes sense that it would fall. But also bear in mind, we lost a couple of countries this year. And so Israel, it wouldn't surprise me, because Israel would have got, potentially big points from Ireland, Spain, and the Netherlands, that actually Israel would have done better than it did in 2025 if those countries were still in this model.
Potentially, yes. I think that's more of a reflection of the fact that I think, this is more opinion than fact now, I think the song lineup is a little bit weaker than we had in 2025.
Yeah.
And that means there's less musical reasons to kind of pull your phone out. Whereas I think with Israel, the reason to pull your phone out is the same.
Yeah. Although I will say, the Israeli government advertising agency is going to see this panic and throw $10 million more into the YouTube ads machine. So sorry in advance to all of you watching my stream in Vienna this year, when you're inevitably peppered with ads from the Israeli government again. Just want to quickly shout out Gabe Sotero. Thank you very much for the 10 Brazilian real, I believe that is. I'm getting really good with the currencies now. Says, Tampere 2027. I am Brazilian and I've never set foot in Europe, but come on. Dylan the Baller says, I love your channel. Who will win Eurovision 2026 and who is a certain non-qualifier? We'll talk about that later once we've gone through the national finals. We'll do a full rundown of the 2 semis and stuff. NP says, did the model predict Austria last year? The answer is no, right? It had Sweden or France.
It had Sweden and France was high up. And yeah, we've redesigned it. So everything's kind of new this year. If this version would have predicted it, it would have called, I think, Sweden first, Austria second.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might have had Finland third, which shows you again how overpriced we were on Erica and how certain YouTubers were very, very delusional about it.
No idea what you're talking about, James.
Yeah, we wouldn't talk about that person. We wouldn't call them out. It would be
of course not.
Unfair. But yeah, so, I'm not saying this is a perfect system. It's never going to be. You can't predict the future. But this is hopefully a little bit closer to predicting the future than just licking your finger, putting it up in the wind and saying, Denmark.
Yeah. I will say, Denmark, I think, even though obviously the odds are hyping a lot, I think Danes would be very happy with coming 5th after the last few years they've had.
Denmark would be unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. So, we have several national finals to talk about, including much demanded ones. We have Italy, not a national final, Italy. We have Romania, we have San Marino, we have Portugal. We're going to talk about each of them. And James, since you're the guest, I'm going to give you the option of where you think we should start.
Out of the 4?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like let's leave Sanremo a bit because we can talk about that in a bit more depth later. Why don't we start with Portugal? Because I always like Festival da Canção.
Go for it. Yeah, we'll do Portugal. Canabai, thank you very much for the 25 krona. Says, I think Austria will get points from Germany. Maybe so. France isn't winning. The juries are tired, says Hunter of Stars. Let's see how things evolve over the next couple of months. Maybe we'll get some more information that indicates that. I'm on my way off to Monsieur Eurovision Recaps, my favourite Eurovision YouTube channel.
Where would we be without Monsieur Eurovision Recaps?
It makes these, I will say, it for sure makes these streams, a whole lot easier. I need San Marino and Romania as well. And where is San Remo? San Remo 2026, Italy recap. There we are. All right, I hope that's the correct one. If not, I'll solve that later. Okay, are you ready for some songs?
Some Portuguese songs.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You may be surprised by my
Eurovision
opinion.
contenders and 14 songs.
Yeah. I mean, firstly, the Portuguese broadcaster, of course, came into this in a bit of shambles, to be honest, in some ways. They came in with 13 of the 16 artists saying no. Only 2 had explicitly said yes. Luckily for them, one of those won. Now, it's going to be impossible to truly tell how much that influenced the result, but what I will say is that this song that won was one of the favorites beforehand, even before those, when all that stuff was going on. And that is actually the first one in the video, so we'll start with them, our winner and the Eurovision entrant. Let's have a little listen, shall we? All right, James. So, Bandidos da Cante Rosa. I'm going to ask your opinion of this first. What do you think of this song?
It is very interesting because usually Portuguese music at Eurovision is more inspired. So I feel like I have to get into the history of Portuguese music here. There are 2 Portuguese genres that are protected by UNESCO World Heritage. You can't change these. There's Fado, which is the one you're more familiar with. Mm-hmm. So like Saudade Saudade from Turin in 2022 is a Fado song that's been taken into different directions. Fado comes up in a lot of stuff. It's all the Portuguese sad boy music. That's Fado.
Yeah.
This is not Fado. Portuguese, this is something called Cante Alentejano.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of their second, more hidden traditional genre. And it's having a bit of a TikTok wave in Portugal coming into this. So it was kind of like a sea shanty trend that we had a few years ago, where it had become really big again. And Bandidos da Cante have kind of ridden that wave. Plus, obviously, the notoriety they gained from saying pretty much from the off that they would be the ones who would go to Eurovision, where all of the statements were coming out with artists saying that they absolutely would not. So that all added up. I like the song on its merits, but it's not giving me the same feeling I usually get, because I usually love Portugal's winners, like year in, year out. I love them, and this one's not giving me that.
This is maybe unexpected. I love this.
Really? That's great. That's great that you do. Maybe I just need to sit and connect with it. What do you love about it?
It reminds me of my fiance.
Aww. Let's just have a moment to appreciate Gabe's cute face, please, everyone. That's lovely.
And whenever if I'm listening to this and she's sat in the room, I'll just kind of look across the room at her while I listen to it. And I think about the lines in the chorus where it's like, I'm going to go to the garden and smell roses and think of you. And I'm like, oh.
I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that now. Let's go now. Yeah, I'm waiting to get my connection with it. I think the thing I'm finding from a Eurovision perspective is that because it's a different genre from Portugal than we usually get, I think people are used to like the Fado sound and what Portugal usually brings. Will they chime with this? I don't know. But then again, Destacado last year is proof that sometimes it just happens. So, yeah, it's one of the more interesting ones coming in, actually. I can't really get it.
I think this is the thing is that, I mean, Portugal is a bit of a wild card. I am cautious in a lot of ways because someone says, what? Your fiance reminds you of awkward guys in half-tone suits? No! Why did you have to ruin it? Thank you very much. Sorry, PP, for the 10 Polish zloty. Next stream, semi-final running order prediction. Maybe we could think about doing that at some point. Maybe close to the time.
Probably in a couple of weeks I'll do it.
Thing is because last year I came into the stream after Portugal was like, well, this ain't going to get anywhere. This is boring. I could not be more wrong about Destacado. And Portugal is so itself that I think people sort of end up drifting to it as it's different, you know? And it's striking. And they don't try to, it makes it feel very authentic. And this also, it's totally in its own lane. There is nothing, in terms of slow ballads, this is the slowest of the slow ballads.
Well, it's even more like blatant than that. All the other 34 songs are driven by instruments. This one's driven by voice. It's really the only one. So it's totally, totally different. It's doing a different thing musically entirely. Supersonically different. It's whether it connects.
I just think it's if nothing else, right? I am gonna. I could picture it now. I am gonna be watching this. In May, with my head on my fiance's shoulder and just generally having a nice time. So for me, I already won with this. I really didn't expect anything from it. Having listened to it beforehand, and didn't really get into it. And then when I then went back and I looked, thank you so much, Kat, for gifting a sub there. When I looked at the lyrics at the same time, and I was listening to it, and she was sitting right there, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I was like, oh no, it's happened again. Emotional investment.
Damn it!
It's like shit.
I mean, do you know what's even nicer? The fact that Kai's tailors, even after all of the suits they must have made for Kevin Axel and Jakob, that they still had 3 spares.
Yeah. Well, they had 6 spares. Look, there was loads of it. There's loads of them.
6
5 even. 5, not 6. That said, I think they need to stage this in a smart way because it's a song that has no movement. So they need to consider that. I think they need to have them interact. I'd love to see them all sitting together or something, like rather than all just kind of standing separately. I think also some of them are clearly less confident than others. And I'm reminded of Kola in Squadra Electronica. The thing that you could do to make him most comfortable was to orient him towards Beatrice. And do you remember, he seemed so powerful in his spoken word section because he was just giving Beatrice all his energy and it came through because it fit perfectly with the staging. On the same token, I think these guys, if they feel most comfortable with each other, put them in a situation where they're kind of singing to each other. That makes it sound like I'm proposing making it really homoerotic. And I mean, maybe that would get them more votes. But you know what I mean, right?
That's all right. It's bro stuff.
It's just guys being dudes. There's nothing wrong with that.
Hanging out, chilling out. I think if they have them like sitting around campfire style and just have some graphics on the back that are cute and kind of display the song's meaning, you're in.
Mm-hmm. Because some of them, I mean, in particular, without meaning to single people out, like this guy on the left here, if you look at him during the song, he's sort of shuffling awkwardly. He doesn't know what to do with his hands and stuff. Let him just sit down, and relax, and just make it fun. Why are you all talking about the gay house again?
Well, Gabe thinks it's the Gabe house, but other people have other plans.
Yeah. Well, depends on who the guests are. Let's move on. What else did we have in this show? Don't you love it when you take your significant other out for a restaurant where they have live smooth jazz playing in the corner and then they ridiculously overcharge you at the end of the night?
Yeah, they sort of go, wasn't this lovely? And then they kind of shuffle over the bill with like a nice hand. So there's a service charge.
This is giving, oh, you'd like an espresso martini? That'll be €50.
That's giving, there's a doorman in the lift and we have to pay him. So you're going to pay for the drinks on the other side.
God. I've just triggered a memory that I didn't expect. This was years and years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago. I was at some event in my old job, like one of these big kind of gala dinner things.
And
I, while I was there, at the time, this was before I'd met this was a couple of years before I met my fiance, got talking to someone while I was there. And, we got on quite well. So we decided we'd go and get drinks afterwards. And she was like, I know a place. Terrible mistake. I paid for the Uber to get to the place. This was central London. Then we get there. And I was like, okay, let's get espresso martinis. £50 each. We got 2 rounds. I paid for both of them.
Whoa,
so I spent 200. But you know why I called it off? And I literally, this is
£200.
Well, no, but you know what happened? I can't remember what she said. She'd said something like she'd made some joke that I didn't find funny or something. And I was sort of, and we'd been talking about ourselves earlier, so she knew I was Jewish. And then she went, you Jews just don't know how to have fun.
Oh, good Lord.
On the spot, I said, all right, I'm going to call you an Uber. I called her an Uber. I literally, that I'm going to give you $100 to fuck off meme. I did that in real life. I was like, I'm paying for your Uber. Go home. I never want to see you again. And we never spoke again. Perfect.
That might genuinely be. So the initial £200 plus Uber, terrible spending.
Yeah.
The spending after, phenomenal. That's the first time I've ever heard someone turn getting slurred into aura farming.
Yeah.
Like, straight away.
I paid 250 quid to get racially abused. Like, honestly. Anyway, so this song has now been connected to that memory forever. Sure, I'm really sorry because your voice is quite nice, but that's what I guess going to be.
Please never meet him and then just go, Shra, your song really reminds me of the time.
The time that I got racially abused on it. Honestly, and it's actually, there was one other time when, and this just shows you how cooked the dating scene is in London and how glad I'm not part of it. There was one date that I went on, and I actually remember exactly when it was. It was like the week after the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022, because we were walking down the street. And I was like, and they'd lit it up in blue and yellow. And I was like, oh, it's blue and yellow because of Ukraine. And she had like a background. She was Armenian, but like she had some Russian family or something. And she was like, oh, it's so awful what's happening. I totally disagree with it. It's disgusting, so in my head, I was kind of like, phew. And then she said, I don't discriminate against anyone. I'm not racist against anyone.
Oh,
except, then she said, there was a gap, and then she went, except for Indians. And I was like, I gotta go get my bus home now. Again, never spoke again. But the thing is, this is the universal truth. Everyone has been on at least one date where they suddenly found out that the person they were on the date with was racist.
Yeah, and now I'll tell you the story of the time I went on a date and I found that the person I was on the date with was racist. Which also happened.
Just quickly, Carlos and Nero, thank you so much for the super chats. Go on, James, this, and then we'll move on to the next song.
Yes, yeah, we need to. I went on a date with someone who was part French. They were over on an exchange program of some kind. Can't remember the details now. We went for a meal. It was nice. We were having a conversation. All was moving well and good. And I was asking about France and all, living in France and all that kind of stuff. And then she, out of nowhere, just sort of went, yeah, well, France used to be better. Now we have all of the, quote, Algerians.
Oh, no. Oh, dear.
Right then.
No.
Right then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she sort of doubled down and tripled down. So I ended that date, but it really proves it's a universal experience.
Yeah, and it also proves there's a lot of racists out there. Hopefully none of them are here. So let's move on to the next song. It really says everything, by the way. We had very little to say about the song, but an awful lot to say about our terrible dates. Thank God we are in long-term relationships now, because, geez.
Oh my God,
right. Next, Andre. So this, I think Andre was the other one who said he'd go to Eurovision.
Yes, I believe that's true. Yes, Andre Maro was.
You know what? Sonically, in some ways, the backing is similar to Kotovia by Diana Villarino from last year, which is a song I liked very much. The thing is that had so much personality and also like a palpable anger. Thank you so much, Ollie Not Pro, for the sub. I really appreciate that. A really palpable like anger to it and sort of a story and emotion. This didn't have that. And so for me, I just kind of, it took a sort of a pastiche of things that in theory I might like and didn't really do anything with them. So for me, this was, say the line, a nothing burger. What did you think, James?
Well, similar thing, relatively flat emotionally. Like, this is the thing, with Portuguese music, you need the emotion there. When it's not there, you really, really notice. And also, it's giving two things for me. One, wedding singer. Two, he's trying to sell like used drums, and he like runs the drum. He's like, please, will someone take my drums? I have 6 left.
Someone, Puranyami in chat says, when you agree to go to Eurovision, but your drum players don't. It's like, at least, I don't know, put some lights in the back of them or something so you could make them flash and make it more dramatic. They just left the drums on stage.
He doesn't even like just hit one of them. Like, the male urge to like just hit things. Yeah. Where is that in this performance?
Yeah. I did it every time you see a drum. You just find yourself, you want to go like... Used office bongos, says Froggery. Someone, Aqua Mercury says, I thought those were Parmigiano Reggiano wheels. They do kind of look like it.
We'll come back to Remo.
Yeah, we'll come back to the Parmesan cheese later. Let's move on. Gonzalo. So again, this is more of the kind of slightly the style of edgy we see in Festival de Canção, right? I mean, the ones that have been the most successful examples of that with the kind of slightly dark feel, maybe someone like João Borges, although they came with a very different song. This maybe didn't click for me so much, but I think he has a beautiful voice. What did you think?
I think it clicked to some extent. Like, I think this is pretty esoteric. It reminds me a bit of Telemovation. In like vibe and the way it was set up. It's not quite as dark as Television was, but I really like the way they've constructed it. Song's nice. Again, like he's got a fantastic voice. I was definitely feeling this as like a potential thing, if of course he wanted to go. Yeah, pretty good actually. That's more like I hear that and I go, that's my FDC. That's what I miss every year to go to Melfest and regret it.
The drama, I mean, it's that dramatic kind of battle. People are comparing it to Tristeza by Josh, and I kind of get that.
Yeah, that's of Tristeza last year.
Yeah, and also someone said it sounds a bit like None by Alice, which I guess I can see.
Yeah, I can see that.
Again, I think it's a terrible shame that these artists, were sort of put in a position where, even if Gonzalo or whoever else had won, that they, wouldn't go to Eurovision purely on the basis that they essentially feel that they have to make a stand against something that's morally reprehensible. It's a real shame. But, I'm glad we still have a chance to look into their songs and celebrate here. Marquise next with Chuva. Portugal never change. I love the moody, like, rock vibe. Like, this is one of those things I know for a fact my chat is going to love this, right? Because they are the just exact right audience for this kind of thing. It's like, you have a sort of, you have, a woman sort of with the little, I love the fringe, by the way. It's not quite a bob. It's too long to be a bob, but an almost bob woman with a sad sort of moody rock song. It's like, what's the word? Kryptonite. Or catnip. Catnip, that's what I'm thinking of. Catnip.
Yeah, Kryptonite's the opposite. Kryptonite's the thing that harms you.
And everyone is saying it was robbed. Damien says, Portuguese malchat toma. What did you think of this, James?
Love that they created the top of the pops 1990s aesthetic somehow. Like,
well, with the faded shots into each other.
Yeah, crossfades, like the slightly saturated colors that you used to get on the cathode ray TVs. Like we're like just of the age where we remember those, and maybe some people in there don't. But it was similar to that. I am a sucker for slightly edgy rock song, like female-led rock song. It's kind of like why I like Alice from Switzerland this year a lot, and I'm starting to grow on that because it's got a similar vibe to it, and I always kind of go for it. Yeah, loved this.
Yeah, I mean it's the kind of thing, to be honest. You see it so rarely in Eurovision that I would love to see something like this in the contest just to see where it would end up. Like, it's the kind of thing where if you have very little kind of background for it, like background information, basically everything, I mean, it's fitting that we did the model tonight. Basically everything that we talk about, the analysis we do when we talk about how well we think things are going to do and so on, most of it is based on past performance, right? To an extent.
Yeah.
And then trying to retrofit that based on how the contest has evolved over time. I have no frame of reference for this. I really, it would be so interesting. It would be one of the hardest things to predict if you got something like this in Eurovision because it's so different to anything that's been in the contest. Another Delta points out that there's been several in national finals, but in national finals, not through. I think Vestules with Kur, they mentioned, would have been amazing. Dunda would have been voting. Of course you would have. Sorry, that sounded mean. Oh, no, you wouldn't. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's be... I love you, Dunda. I'm sorry. Evaya, Sprint. So, the studio version reminded me of Björk, and then I saw the live performance, and it reminded me of Björk. That's not a bad thing. If you ever seen All Is Full of Love by Björk, the music video is robots falling in love. I interpreted it as being kind of sapphic as well, but people have to go and watch that themselves. Someone said, why Bjonk, Tasman? No, Tasman? Bjonk?
Bjonk. Is that an Icelandic bonk?
I'm not sure. In any case, Evaya is very much like Bjonk, I guess. What did you think of this? Again, I'd love to see weird stuff like this in Eurovision because it's so different to example Televote, but we don't have many experimental things like that to choose from.
No, and you know what? You can have a whole conversation about whether Eurovision's really ready for experimental music. For me, this isn't the kind of experimental music that I would listen to myself. From a taste perspective, I think the vocal on this is a little bit grating. Also, not really sure what's going on with that like seashell thing in the back. It looks like someone deconstructed Vladana's satellite dish from a few years ago.
Just exploded it outwards.
Yeah, just exploded it outwards. Yeah, wasn't really for me, this one.
No, I think the style of singing is definitely divisive. I kind of liked it. But what actually the background really reminds me of, it's exactly the same as the seashell branding they had for Eurovision 2018. So maybe they just found it in the RTP surplus cupboard. In any case, I liked it. Please coming back. Please coming back. Please come back. Here's a man with a guitar. Oh, it's crashed.
Oh.
Well, it's over, guys. It was Lumo. Lumo finally got it. Right, here we go. I mean, on one hand, this kind of music is easy listening. It's comfortable to listen to. You know, if it came on in the background again, like a restaurant or bar or something, you'd be fine about it. I've heard it before, you know.
Oh God, we've heard it 100 times. Although this does finally answer the question: what if "Do It for Your Lover" was good?
Oh, someone said at the same time as you said that. Someone said, "Why is it giving "Do It for Your Lover"?"
It's the lighting. That's what it is. It's the like sun-kissed lighting that they went for. Just missing the beach fan and of course Manuel Navarro losing the will to live live.
Just do it for your love.
That year, by the way, you had the two best voice cracks in Eurovision history in the same year because you had Isaiah that year as well.
Oh, with his gosh, I remember that.
Yeah, the "Don't Come Easy" voice crack. That's the underrated one.
It got overshadowed by Manel because Manel's was more legendary, and also didn't Isaiah's happened in the semi, didn't it? So everyone kind of forgot about it.
Exactly. Isaiah robbed the Caria, really, of Eurovision in many ways. The people's champion voice breaks.
Yeah, and then he went back to Australia and went from committing musical crimes to real ones. So he's not welcome back. Speaking of crimes, we are going to talk about San Marino soon. Next, we are going to look at Nunca, Matheus Mandare. It's very Dalston. Anyone who's not familiar with London won't get this.
A good reference, you know.
But like, it's the exact kind of edgy that you get in like indie bars in Dalston, which is like a sort of fashionable but maybe slightly wanky bit of North London.
It's a good approximation of Dalston. He looks like the sort of guy, like, you know, when you go to these pubs in like Dalston and Hackney, and they'll have some indie band playing, and he'll come out and he'll look like this, and he'll go, "Oh yes, oh yeah, mate," and he's like one of those like Surrey guys, and he'll be like, "Oh yes, mate, like I'll check that in my Hargreaves Lansdowne account." Like, if you live in London, you've seen this guy. Like, you've seen iterations of this guy.
Yeah, they've seen this guy, and apparently, the one thing that all the entire chat seems to agree on is that they all want to get to know him better. Because
I also want to get to know him better. You know, visuals is fine. I don't have to hear words.
It's like, please stop singing. Just stand there. No, I mean, it's not really for me. But, you know, I feel like he's attempting to aura farm.
Oh, 100%. Look at that. He's salt baying on him.
Yeah, and based on chat, I think it's kind of half working because some people seem to be rolling their eyes a little bit. But there we are. People really like the Hargreaves Lansdowne thing. Let's move on to the next one. Silvana Perez.
Is she trapped in that dress?
It is. It looks very not unmaneuverable. I have to be honest. I found this one kind of boring, and also I didn't like the dress. Any thoughts?
Yeah, static. That's I think. I think when we talk about a Eurovision performance being static, there's so many ways you can talk about that. There's like camera movement being static, there's the performer being static, whether the stage effects are doing all those things. I mean, I'm reading way too deeply into this, but those are all the kind of metrics we use to describe that. This is a good textbook example of when all of those metrics are just, where's the dynamism? Like, why doesn't the camera move faster or do a zoom in or something like that? That's all we need.
The dress is attracting some criticism. DJ Salaryman says when the cotton candy machine needs to warm up. Sasha said I kept waiting for the wind to come along so she could fly away on those wings. Yamkovicha says she is bleeding out. Someone help her.
Oh God, I'm loving how unhinged the chat is getting.
It is today. They are. I feel like we got them in the mood by getting them really riled up with the model, and now they are. Yeah.
Now they just want to fight us.
On behalf of remaining Portuguese Eurovision fans, says Gladdy Lord, I must say this was our worst / dullest chain of participations we had in the last 20 years. Yeah, it's this. I do think overall the show was not the best. This one, I think we're coming towards the end of the show, but let's have a listen. Yeah. Well, him and Bandidos Tocante had the same gimmick with the rose.
Yeah.
This one feels a little more Alexeyev, though. Everyone is very excited about this. I will say that this was one of the pre-show favorites. I didn't necessarily get the hype. Sorry. What did you think, James?
Musically, I really get it. Like, this is kind of what you would come to expect from a good Portuguese Eurovision entry. It has its own unique flavour, number one. It's kind of leaning into a bit more of a, I don't necessarily want to say a reggaeton rhythm, but it has that little more of a bounce to it than maybe you usually get from a Portuguese entry. I think the problem actually this had on the night wasn't down to the music, but it's down to the fact I just don't think the staging really matches the music. Mm-hmm. I don't see why they're trying to dress Dennis as like, oh, I'm a gentleman, I'm a bachelor, here I am with the rose. And then you've got this like wall twerking going on. While that's happening, that doesn't really check out. And the problem with the suit is it makes him look like, when you go on holiday to Europe, like to a beach, and someone always comes up to you offering a rose at a restaurant, and you'll take it and they'll be like, that'll be €15, please.
Yes.
That's Dennis Motta in that suit.
Oh, that is harsh. But at the same time, I kind of see what you mean. He finished second overall. It was actually the juries that did him in. He only got 6 from the jury, 10 from the public. In any case, Bandidos Tocante were well clear. They had 22 in total out of a possible 24, so no one was catching them. Yeah, I mean, people are saying low-key convinced jury would have won if Dennis wasn't against going to Eurovision. I mean, it's entirely possible. I mean, this is the thing, is this will always be a show which has a bit of a question mark over it because there were so many external factors, and surely people will have had in their mind who's going to Eurovision here, who said they'll go to Eurovision, and there will be people for whom then they would only consider voting for those. That said, didn't do, because if you look at Andre Amaro, he got 7 from the public. And only 1 from the juries, and he was the other one who said that he would go.
So they all just picked the favourite of the two. Maybe they should have had like a presidential runoff.
Yeah. I mean, and ultimately, I think what they would have done if neither of those songs had won, they would have just picked whichever one finished higher and sent them to Eurovision.
Absolutely, yeah.
But there we go. Someone says in all caps, "Are you going to talk about San Remo?" Yes, we're getting there. Don't worry. But overall, we should close this off with our winner again and just say, how do you think this is going to do at the contest, James?
It's borderline. It's in that borderline bracket. There's a few countries in borderline this year. I think definitely that first semi-final has got a hat full of songs that I'm like, on a good day, yes, on a bad day, no. Wait to see how the kind of the tea leaves fall on this one. A lot of jury potential on this. Televote, big question mark. Either it connects or it doesn't. If it doesn't, it's got problems and big ones.
I'm going to do a poll, and I'm going to ask the Twitch mods to do this on Twitch because otherwise I can't do it over there. So I'm going to reach over here, and you're going to tell me how will Portugal do at Eurovision? How will Portugal do at Eurovision? And your options are NQ 21 to 25, 10 to 19. That's wrong. 11 to 20.
Yep.
And 1 to 10. All right. Get voting now. That's right. There is a poll in the Gabe house. And I'll give you a minute or two to answer that one. Overall, my honest opinion of this show was I enjoyed it much more last year. I look at the songs that were in and around at the top last year. Diana Villarino, Napa, Henka, Josh. All four of those, in my opinion, clear almost the entire field. So I do think this was a weaker show. I think it's very obvious why that is. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't really have to go into all the intricacies of why. I mean, the thing you have to say is FDC was not the way it was this year because of the artists involved. You've just got to think of how many people just refuse to go outright in a situation where you've already gotten a point where only 2 people in apparently the entirety of Portugal will say that they go to Eurovision for you that you consider worthy of that. So from there, you can kind of see where there may have been a drain in quality this year. It definitely wasn't up to my usual, oh, my indie darlings are cooking here show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely not that this year. Mm-hmm. But hopefully it returns to form next year because I do love it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think depending on what happens with Eurovision, it'll change. I mean, it's just like Norway. I think it was weakened by external factors. 65% of you on YouTube, 72% on Twitch say this is not qualifying. I really love the optimism of the 1% of people who said this is finishing in the top 10.
What's your Portuguese audience percentage, haven't you?
Probably about 1%. But yeah, do you question the ethics and morals of the winning act for agreeing to go? No, because that would make us all massive hypocrites. Not my place to do that. Absolutely not my place to do that. But yeah, no, I don't think it's going to qualify. Let's hope that things are better next year. But ultimately, if you're looking at this from a public broadcasting perspective, this situation is clearly having a negative effect on your own domestic programming. You would hope that this would make a difference. But I've learned not to be optimistic. But you know what they didn't do in this show? They didn't penalize people or start getting in contact with broadcasters and delegations or whatever for expressing opposition to Israel's participation in Eurovision. Maybe you could learn a thing or two. And yeah, I think this is going to be something that I'm going to need to revisit shortly. Let's move on. And I think we should maybe go to Romania next.
Yes, let's go to Romania.
Again, a show with some very interesting talking points, some unexpected entrants, and we're going to take a look at the winner. There's been some discourse this week. I think we're going to talk a bit about it. We have thoughts. I will say an apology to the people who've been waiting for us to talk about Romania for about a month. It was in my opinion, I'm sorry I ended up making Romania kind of always the bridesmaid, never the bride on this streams, where I kept promising it and then like sort of edging everyone for another week. But here we are. It's happening. The voting system. What do you think of an 100% jury national final?
It's, yeah. Do you know what? Weirdly, this year has never been more important to be good with the juries, as the model will show, actually, because the televote is kind of constricted now, because you sort of know where 300 or 400 points are going to go before you turn up, whereas that's not necessarily the case in the juries. So, strictly speaking, if you're kind of playing the game, you would want a jury contender more than a televote contender, because if you're leaking hating, for example, you will be most damaged by a country doing very well in the televote when they're not considered a contender.
That's it. I mean, you can get obviously a breakthrough. Like I think Rim Tim Tagidim, perfect example of this.
Yeah, that can happen.
That's actually crazy to think about now that Israel at peak televote power, absolute peak televote power, still couldn't get past Rim Tim Tagidim. Imagine how many points Rim Tim Tagidim would have gotten if it weren't for the fact that Israel stole basically 2 points from him in every country in Western Europe.
Well, I mean, if you whether
Well,
I
like
can
20 or
increase-
30 more, right?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
numbers.
that's not the point. It's a figure of speech, James. It's a figure of
What do you
speech.
mean, numbers?
Yeah.
Do you know what that lasagna was? That was like the Wembley lasagna. Do you remember the Wembley lasagna?
Oh, during that when they were to feed everyone, they were gonna make a giant lasagna in Wembley.
Lasagna in Wembley, I promise you.
That's classic. That is. This is not related to Romania. Oh my god, my fiance has been going on about this song so much. She's like, you have to talk about Romania so you can talk about Tilly Bomb Girl. I'm really sad she got rid of her weird like floor CPR dance for the live performance. During the audition, she was literally on the floor like...
Is that a thing? She was like a woodpecker.
Yeah. Now let me tell you about the art of the disaster bop, James. This is something that we're very experienced with. I would say, like, when it comes to the luminaries, the modern luminaries of the disaster bop genre for this year, I would say Dynamis in Greece. I would say Copacabana Boy by Junior Lerin.
Yep.
I think this is a good candidate for disaster bop because it's total nonsense. It's total nonsense, but I kind of love it. Like, it's gone all the way rounded, like the horseshoe, back to actually, this is iconic. What do you think?
Gabe, when you see a bodysuit and weird lighting that doesn't make logical sense, you know you're in for something special.
And just shit all over the stage. Like, who did this stage show? It's like, hello, my name is Emmy Alupe, and here's the contents of my attic.
It's like they've done storage hunters and they bought one storage unit and they were like, well, we'll find a place for everything in here, we promise.
Yeah. God,
this is a weird old song, but in the disaster bop vein. So you kind of already know what you're going to get. Fun but confusing.
Some other candidates, by the way, that people have mentioned: Bella Trampolina from Serbia, Paravani Tango in in Poland, Dolce Hera Casanova 91. Yes, absolutely. What in the Casanova 91 as staging, says Nero. Well, yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Ananda from Croatia.
Yeah. We demand a Disaster Bop 2026 video, says Gustav. That's tempting, but the thing is with that is you have to get the tone right. Like, these people have still worked hard. I don't want to spend a whole video I don't want it to sound mocking, because like the point of Disaster Bops and things is that it's like, it's iconic and it's entertaining. Like, that's the positive thing, is it's entertaining because it's so silly and fun. So if I can find a way to do the tone right, then I'll think about it. Pink Margarita, I think, that's, that's in my own repeat. I listen to that song all the time. Anyway.
That says more about you than it does about
Yeah, it does. Robert Lukian, Fire to the Lies. Well, so would you say that he's on fire, and he's singing about a liar?
I mean, it's a joy, right? In this situation, we're so worried about AI going into music and auto-tune and vocal correction. It's nice to see a song where none of that's taken place.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Chabaru Joe, for the $5, and shout out to you and your girlfriend who were both watching. I mean, I'm not going to be denying that this is not a good song. And if I said I enjoyed it, I'd be lying. So no more of that.
Song fourth.
Really?
Yeah, this came fourth in the results. Yeah, I don't understand that in a 100% jury final, but okay.
I want to take I'm going to take your screen for a minute because I'm going to find the lyrics for this. I want to see, probably on Eurovision World somewhere. Let's have a look. Right, everyone, we're going on a journey. Here we are. You're back on now, James.
Ah, yes. This is the Robert Lukian rabbit hole that we're going down. I haven't seen the lyrics of this either. I'm fascinated.
There we go. Fourth place, Fire to the Lies. Let's see. There's not many of them. No, oh. Let's see. Say you don't fear the night. Can't believe it's goodbye. Whispering, stay alive. I mean, it's not revolutionary. I will say I've seen worse.
Oh, yeah. It's nothing bad about it. It's just done.
AI could never write this, says Dunder. Yeah, to his credit, this doesn't look at all like AI to me. So good job, Robert, for actually writing your own song. That puts you above, like, an alarmingly large proportion of this year's songs. This year's national final songs, I should say. James, I believe, will have something to say about this soon, potentially, but for now, we're going to keep that secret.
For now.
Yes. Shall we move on from Robert? It was not a good song. There's not much to say about it.
Not much to say about it other than, the vocals were not great on that.
Vanu, therapy enemy. That's what happens? That's what happens when your card declines. The therapist turns into a therapy enemy.
Is that like talking from personal experience? Like the therapist turns on you? Like
No, I can't say it is. But luckily in this country we have universal healthcare. I bet he can do a wall sit for a really long time. But I mean, I really, this is like such a archetypal, like national final with standards that are slightly too low entry, like a sort of rock song delivered underwhelmingly with a series of bizarre staging and musical choices.
Yeah, it's like bro vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we talk about the guy's workout routine, we don't have to talk much about the song. So that's a good logic. Workout routine on the guy, good. Wall sit, definitely good. Maybe that's what he should have done. Just do a bunch of like ab workouts and like core stuff.
Yeah, he could have done CrossFit stuff and then got Loco Boombox as a backing dancer.
Yeah. How is your CrossFit journey, by the way?
It's been good. Obviously, it's been disrupted the last couple of weeks because I've been going away and stuff to national finals and so on. But let me tell you, some of the things they make you do in that, it's like, have you ever heard of the concept of a wall ball?
What's a wall ball?
A wall ball. You get this big weighted ball, and it's deceptively light, like 6 kilograms, 9 kilograms, 12 kilograms, like sort of the sizes. I'm doing 6 because I mean, if you've seen me, I'm a stick. And you have to literally, you just go into like a squat. So you use all of your legs and stuff to do this, and you have to throw it onto a line which is painted on the wall, and then catch it and do that again. Doing one of them is easy. Doing 50 of them, not so much.
Monic level of work for CrossFit.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes, Thunder. There are big weighted balls in the gay house. Luhani says and gives 25. I believe that's UAE dinars. I feel like it should be reminded that on the official channel, the YouTube channel, the stream crashed for this national final 3 or 4 times. Yes, it did. I tried to tune in and it was broken, so I then tuned out again and watched it the next day instead. I also want to say, Lou, if that is United Arab Emirates currency, which I think it is, wishing you well. Hope you are safe. Hope your family and friends are all safe.
Yes.
Let's keep moving. Let's move on from the therapy enemy to why is he here, Edward Meyer, and a woman who he found on the bus, I presume. So, I really want to know whose idea this was. How does this happen?
I have so many questions and no answers. I'll try and ask 3 questions now to get the ball rolling. Number 1, what is the Guitar Man?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first question. Second question, why is it staged in like the Targaryen's land in Game of Thrones or wherever it was, or the one with the water where they had the women who were like serpents and stuff? Why is it staged there? Number 3, like, why does this sound like if the Black Eyed Peas made songs only for Heart?
I don't think even Heart Radio would take this, to be honest.
Heart Radio wouldn't take this. Like, obviously, for people who don't know, Heart Radio is a thing in the UK where they often play like rap songs that are big in the charts, but they always take out like the swearing. And what they really do is on pop songs that have a rap feature, they'll just take the rap feature out.
What I really love, someone says, by the way, is that ESC Tom on the right? Just as big a question, it's why is Pitbull playing the guitar?
I thought it was cooler at first, to be honest. I was like, wow, where'd they get him from?
Yeah. He appeared on 2 national finals on the same night. He was in San Marino as well. He came last. This is obviously, it's Edward Meyer of Stereo Love fame. Yeah, I mean, there's really, sometimes you just wonder how something happened.
I think got it, actually. It's like all these people met in one smoking area in some one like bizarre club that like no one will remember in the morning.
In Bucharest, yeah.
Went, fuck it.
You know, so speaking of Bucharest, just quickly, we spent about 2 hours in Bucharest on our way to Moldova.
Yeah, Moldova.
And you know, Jay is allergic to peanuts, and we took him to a restaurant where the decor, the restaurant we went to, the decor was there was peanuts all over the floor. Luckily, he was fine. He didn't die, as you know, because he's still alive.
Yeah.
Someone says, sorry.
When you get on a plane with Jay, is it like a full? We
No,
have
no. He's not that allergic. He's only a little bit allergic. It's fine.
Oh right, that's fine then. Sorry, carry on.
Someone says, where is it? Oh, I've lost it now. Charlie 200-451 says it looks like a work night out karaoke. Yeah, I get what you mean. I love how there's no continuity in the costume design either. Like they're all wearing different things.
They walked here from the smoking area and just went, "Oh, there's a free spot in the Selection Nacional. Do you want it?"
And it's like Edward Meyer has just come off a 12-hour shift at like a really shady finance firm on the right there. Sorry, ESC Tom. Let's move on to Iguana with Happy Birthday. Right, 10 points, 10 out of 10 for Iguana for having a song that actually has a message. That's actually about something. Like, I don't really love the final product, to be honest, but it's a song, I guess, as far as I can tell, it was about, like, about divorce. And, you know, it's like, at least you tried to do something, you know, which is better than most of the things we've looked at so far. Yeah.
That's the first base you want, is you want to feel like when you hear a song at a national final that it's all been thought through and that there's a thing going on with it and you kind of know what they're achieving. They aimed for something here, and that's great. They had a lot of dry ice, which, great. You know, we love a bit of dry ice. Costumes in general, questions, but other than that, it's fine. It's fine, like, right?
And I guess the thing is that they've tried to do it in a way where I guess the dancer is meant to be dressed like a kid, because in the context of the song, she is a kid. I feel like it's a little too on the nose about that, and as a result, sort of, I look at it and sort of go, A few comments on this. That this was the first song that sounded good after a few duds. I think that is true, given what we've just listened to before that. B says it's the jolliest divorce song ever. I'm not sure it's jolly. But, you know. Someone says the backing dancer looks like John's tears. Someone says, please get to choke me soon. My friend needs to leave. Yeah, don't worry. We're getting there.
We're away.
First, though, we have to talk about the song that came second, which was not Tilly Bomb, unfortunately, but was, in fact, Hands. I presume it's pronounced Hands and not Hvns with Door. What was it with Romania this year? The jury was like, you know what we love right now? Rock music from the like late 2000s and early 2010s.
Everyone. We're back. We're doing it loud. We're going to do the rock. Look, if it was a choice of which rock song do you pick out of the two, I think they picked the right one.
Yeah.
Sure. This is okay. I like the energy of it, for sure. Like, they've gone for it, and I appreciate that in a rock song more than anything. It's like energy. The actual quality, I think, not as good as the energy, but
I think
they tried.
The thing is with rock, right, in a Eurovision context, we've talked about this in the context of pop music a lot before. Rock is a busy genre. There is a lot of competition. People are going to compare you to the things they are that they love the most. That means comparing to some of the great bands that exist in the world. You kind of, in my opinion, if you want to do really well, you need to bring something that is of that standard. Otherwise, it's going to get lost. We'll talk about this, about where Alexandra Capitanescu falls on that scale when we get to the song. But this, in my opinion, falls a little short. I mean, think about, you know, sort of the best examples of rock and metal. Hard Rock Hallelujah, perfect example, 20 years ago this year. Objectively a good, like, rock/metal song. Completely stripped of it. That's your bar, you know? But there we are. It's good that it didn't win. That said, I enjoyed it more than most of the things in this show. It's Mr. I buy YouTube views. Or I should say, for legal reasons, this is an allegation that is not confirmed. Okay, this is another one where it's like, okay, there's too many things going on with the staging. We have two dancers who are nowhere near each other, some girl in a flying box, backing singers over here in the corner, and he's just kind of in the middle.
Just totally differently to everybody else.
Yeah, and it's like, I think this is the shot that really does it. It's like, none of them are anywhere near each other.
Why have they got a crossword in the back?
It does look like a crossword, doesn't it?
That's it.
I mean, it could
Yeah.
well be AI generated, like most of the other visuals in this show was.
Yeah. 2 down. What your song is? 4 letters. Second letter L.
Somebody, Donda says, why is it giving Revolution but made on a $2 budget and a cracked version of Fruity Loop Studio? Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I want to know where someone learns to dance in one of those flying cube things. Like, how do you learn that?
I mean, it's just a cool thing that people end up doing. I think it's awesome. But
cool.
this is not a good use of that skill set, in my opinion. Interestingly, this guy won the wild card, which was based on the number of YouTube views the song got. Easy system to manipulate, infamously. And then, mysteriously, they allowed 2 wild cards, which is a pretty clear but tacit admission from the broadcaster that this was a stupid idea. So hopefully they will change the way it's done. Antonio is truly the Nora Blue of this selection. And the other person who was begging pardon, was wildcarded was Urs, who you may remember from Lamame Lamame. And I've muted it, sorry.
Yes, we want to hit horse.
It just felt like Holla Me Baby Bear Light Edition.
Yeah, it's sometimes things don't need to change. Horse has clearly not changed. It's a very similar song. It's not as good as Yamame Yamame. I mean, Yamame Yamame had that kind of. It was just fun. That was my first Eurovision, and that was the one that everyone would just sort of play randomly and kind of meme around, and that was a soft spot for me because of that. So I guess that's bias on that side.
And also, the Holla Me Baby Bear and Lamame Lamame were like number 1 vocal stims of 2022 during the week.
Oh god, yeah, you just couldn't go anywhere without hearing it in the street there. Yeah, this does not have the same, because la 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 is not particularly distinctive.
Also, the good thing for him about that song was that it was not very difficult vocally. I think his vocals are a little exposed here. Then again, the production wasn't great, so we have to factor that in too.
Yeah, Yamame was very in his lane. Way to say it.
It was in his Lamame. No, that doesn't work. Right, let's move on.
That's terrible.
This is what happens when you listen to Hot to Go and Appetite and think, I could do that.
This is what happens when you go to a year 6 disco and someone spikes the punch.
Oh.
This is nuts. What's with the ticket tape at the back? It looks so cheap. Like, and not in a, this is cutesy cheap. Like, ooh.
I think it's deliberate though, because look at the backing. I'm going to turn the sound off so I don't get copyright struck for this of all things. It kind of looks like that these dudes, even though they're like old, they've been like dressed like they're going to, like it's a school disco. Like, I think it's deliberate. Oh yeah, there you go. It even says prom.
Oh, prom. Right. Okay, so it's a prom. Okay, no. So right, this is the aim. Okay, do you know what? I take that back, because if I identified that straight away, well, then they did achieve the aim of the staging.
Yeah, there we go. It's genius. Well done.
Olivia Adams, staging winner. Benka Riedman could not do this.
But yes, I mean, it's just not good at all. This is this kind of thing. Again, you talk about being compared to the best in pop music. If you channel Hot to Go, if you channel Apata, you are expected to deliver something that lives up to that. Good luck with that. Not going to happen. Okay, we move on to Monica with her AI-generated backdrop. Oh, I need to turn the sound back on. Sorry. Well, she can sing, but personally, I found this song to be kind of boring.
Yep, static again. Another static song. Not much more to say. I don't know why she looks a bit like Saoirse Ronan is playing a Romanian national final contestant more than a national final contestant.
I kind of know what you mean. She does look a little bit like Saoirse Ronan. But no,
Yes.
it's just one of those. It's one of those songs where it's like, oh, you hear 100. So somebody said that's really mean. Someone said, what does a hairdresser do for a living? Oh.
God. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that to the AI hairdresser.
Oh, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, right. We're talking about the song. This is the actual song. So it turns out that this really, I've been confused about this week, and there's a lot of thoughts that people have about this song and about its content. So we're going to talk about it, of course. And we're going to have the lyrics in Bulgarian as well, for some reason. There was a Guardian article that was published this week, as well as a video that went up from another channel in the fan media space, which alleged that this song glorifies choking in a sexual context, which is an activity that is never safe. There is no such thing as safe choking. And so this is kind of a conversation that's only just really spun up. Like, it's the last 48 hours I've really been seeing a lot about this going on and so on. And that's why I wanted to talk about the lyrics a little bit. Because the thing is, if there was absent of any context whatsoever, I would, and thank you very much, Luhani, for the 10 dinars. Absent of any context at all, and if you weren't really listening, then I would get it. But Alexandra has been extremely explicit about what this song is about.
Yes.
She's talked about how it's a song sort of something in conversation with your own mind. And she released a statement on Instagram, which I'm going to get up now, actually, because I haven't seen that yet. And the best thing, honestly, the number one thought that I had about this song was mostly to do with what is the purpose of fan media in the context of covering these songs. And I would argue that part of that context is, there we go, but put it back on screen, is helping amplify the message that the artist wants people to understand, to analyze, to assess that message, right? So I'm going to read this quickly. I've read the conversations around Choke Me, and I want to share with you what this song means to me. I respect every opinion, but I also believe deeply in the freedom to express complex emotions through art. I have a responsibility to the people who listen to my music, come to my concerts, or follow me on social media. Choke Me is a metaphor for the pressure we sometimes place on ourselves. It speaks about inner fears, self-doubt, and the feeling of being emotionally suffocated by our own expectations. It was never intended to represent anything sexual. As a songwriter, I often use symbolism to give shape to feelings that are difficult to explain directly. This song reflects the weight of certain emotional struggles and the journey of reclaiming your voice and autonomy. Music is how I process complicated emotions and make sense of my inner world. When I stop putting pressure on myself, I reach my maximum potential. The lyrics are about taking back control over anxiety and emotions that are choking you. I'm grateful to everyone who listens and engages with my music in good faith. Thank you for listening, Alexandra Kapitonescu. I mean, it's a real shame that this statement was needed. I personally, when I read the title of this song, I went, huh? And then I listened to it, and immediately I was like, oh, well, it's not about that. I'm conscious, of course, that we are not necessarily the best people to talk about this, because sort of sexual violence in general and sexual violence such as, involuntary choking and things like this predominantly affects women. And we certainly, I think because of that, I'm going to sort of mainly just shine a light on what Alexandra says about this and then talk about what our role is in terms of the fan media space in general. I think there's a few things to consider. Firstly, is that, people talk about being choked up. Danda said being choked up is a separate term. It's clear from the from the way in which the words are used. She sort of says, "Oh, I want it to choke me," talking about her kind of line and stuff like this. Yeah, I feel like maybe something has been lost here, and there's been not enough benefit of the doubt given. this is someone whose first language isn't English, someone who's been, especially in this statement, very explicit about what the song is about. And I do worry we have a bit of a Milo situation where people have rushed to a conclusion and potentially made more people interpret this way when that's not what the song is about. Whereas if we come and we talk about how the artist sees it, what the artist is trying to say, it can kind of counteract the risk of people interpreting it in another way. And that then, if you're worried about a perceived harm, that's the way to reduce it, in my opinion. And so I think the best approach from a fan media perspective would be to look at it in that way. What do you think, James?
Obviously, I have two thoughts on this. I mean, before I go into them, I will say, obviously, I'm not the person to talk about whether a song about, even if this song was intended to be about that, should be, shouldn't be. That's a different conversation for someone better placed than me to have. But it does make me think of two things. First one is, what is the difference between kind of what comes out and what the intent is? So a really good example I think of is last year we had Can't. And that was a song that uncontextually didn't technically have anything wrong with it because obviously the word was singing in Maltese and that was the whole point. But everybody knew that the intent from Miriana Conte was to make that play on words. And that was quite obvious. EBU's position was that they took the intent and then created the change and insisted that Miriana could sing it. So it's interesting that we're having a conversation which is sort of in the inverse, where I don't think there is intent there, but the way the wording has come out has been taken now as the literal meaning, totally in the inverse strategy. If the EBU is looking at intent, then you can see the intent right there. I don't think there is a need to change it, but I do also appreciate that most people aren't going to have read this statement when they go and watch the Eurovision semi-final because the majority of people don't care about it as much as we do. And then the second point that brings me nicely onto is mainstream media, once that gets a hold of something Eurovision, it takes on a life of its own and it's viewed through the mainstream lens. And that's the thing as fan media people, I worry about that because I want to be sure that if it gets to a mainstream lens, that there's enough information there that they don't start spinning out of context honestly like this does.
Yeah, I mean, I did as soon as this was selected. I think I even said this to you at the time. I was like, 100%, there's going to be a thing because
it's immediate.
Yeah. Aside of everything else, it was always going to be a thing, and I think I feel for Alexandra because it's very clearly not what the song is about from her perspective. And I will say it's good that she's clearly she's tuned in to this stuff, and I think I think there was not the intention here in my opinion. I think we have no reason not to take it at her word. I do think we should talk about what we think of the song as well, though. I did want to sort of give all that context and sort of reflect a little bit on what our role is and what the media's role is when it comes to discussing things like this in a way that is sensitive and in a way that is responsible. And I'm really keen to hear from all of you about this as well. Feel free to, type in chat now, comment below, Discord, wherever you feel comfortable. If you want to discuss this more, we should talk about this in sort of a grown-up, reasonable way. I think the other thing is that this isn't I do think we're in this kind of weird place with lyrics and stuff. Obviously, you have things like Cunt last year, but for example, if you take the Norwegian song, he's implying that he is let's say, okay, you know what, there's no subtle way to say this. He's implying that he is ejaculating on someone, right? So you sort of start to say, okay, where's the line here? What do we consider acceptable? What do we consider not? Given that this is already a problem in a Eurovision space, in terms of, there's so many layers to this that I think it means the thing to do is have a responsible discourse, but try to, that I think the sort of blunt instrument of censoring people and telling people they can't say certain things is then a difficult lane to go down. Amelia, thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat. Says, I think likely a few people have made a fuss and the majority won't care, especially as a lot of viewers don't speak much English. Yes, indeed. There was a mention of that in the Norwegian song, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to quickly check. That's it, yeah. I left it all over you and you're pretty close. That was the line I was thinking of.
Yeah. Implication's clear.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's... I think the important thing is to highlight the intent. Let's talk about the song. It's a lot better than Romania's last Eurovision entry. We can say that for 100% sure, and I don't think you'll find many people to disagree. What do you think of the song?
This is good. It's a little... It's not perfect. I'm definitely not going to go and say it's perfect. It's a little messy in places. It maybe needs a little revamp just to iron out some of the edges on it, like structurally, and to get it into a nice, like, coherent way. But the ideas in it are really good. It even has that slight little opera thing that Alexandra does. And look, we're in a situation in Eurovision where opera has won the last 2 years. So you've got to play the game to win the game. Yeah, I think this is really good. It was by far the best of the selection, even though it was the jury's picking. I think they did not make the wrong choice. And Romania have a song to take them back into the final. I think this will probably make it.
I think it's going to be close. I'm a bit sort of jury out in terms of whether I think it's going to get through or not. I think it could be close.
Yeah, all on the jury's.
I think, I'm relieved they're sending something competitive, and the same with Moldova and Bulgaria. I mean, more Bulgaria, because I think Moldova would stay no matter what, especially having gone to Moldova and spoken to the broadcaster. I think Eurovision is a very high priority for them. Moldova spends 2% of its yearly TV... Teleradio Moldova spends 2% of its yearly TV budget or more, maybe like 2.5% on participating in Eurovision. For context, that would be the equivalent of, for example, the BBC spending more than £25 million a year. So they really care about it. Romania and Bulgaria, not so sure. I'm relieved they have something viable. I think the fact that it's viable makes it more likely that they'll come back next year. Even if they maybe miss out on qualification, if they come 11th or 12th. The point is they have something that people in Romania can listen to or watch and go, yeah, that's our song. I like that. It's quality. Because the worry is you get something like, unfortunately, you had, and like I said, no hate to Theodor Andre. I think, it's not his fault he won that selection, right? I think he didn't, it wasn't a fully professional package. A lot of that was to do with the way TVR and the people around him handled it. But this actually feels like a much more professionally done job. She feels like she knows what she's doing. She has a visual identity. She has a musical identity. It gives me a little bit of Nightwish kind of vibe slightly, which is something that really works for me personally. Because of that, it's competitive.
Yeah, I think the thing to look for is in the lead up is how professional is the setup around her, because TVR traditionally didn't have a very professional setup. They were one of the delegations that were often trying to do things on the cheap. I mean, Theodor Andre was alleging that TVR insisted he pay for all the staging himself. So let's hope there's a better team around this that can manage this properly. Because I think if there is potential to do pretty well. Yeah.
Amelia says, if the EBU censor this, it looks really bad, given they also censored 3 women, Erica and Miriana, but not Milkshake Man. It looks very sexist. Yeah, I get what you mean. I 100% see where you're coming from. People want a poll. I'm going to give them a poll. Give me a moment, James. I'm going to start typing. The poll is, how will Romania do? And so we're going to say NQ, 21 to 25. Oops. We're going to say 11 to 20, and we're going to say 1 to 10. All right, everyone. Here we go. Let's see what you think of Romania.
But for additional context, the model had this 8th in its semi-final. I can say that. 8th.
How close was it to NQ?
I think it was actually relatively solid. I think the gap was 46.
Okay.
It was there. Mostly on Televote, as you can imagine.
Someone says Milkshake Man was well hidden. The other 2 weren't. I don't think it was sexist. Yeah, I'm not sure about it being sexist, but I will say Milkshake Man was really obvious. Come on. That was so obviously a song about cum. There's no point pretending it wasn't. It was blatantly obvious from the first listen exactly what it was about.
Yes, and it finished prematurely in the contest.
Oh, boo!
That's a cheap shot.
Yeah, but you know what? Fair enough.
It's another joke, actually, if you read into it.
Oh, James. Okay.
Sorry.
I'm going to move on.
on.
59% of people on Twitch and 68% of people on YouTube think this is going to finish between 11th and 20th. Only 5% of people think it's going to NQ. So
Wow.
they agree with your... someone says it was below the belt.
Nice. We really shouldn't start this.
Yeah, this is gonna spiral. Yeah. So 11 to 20, I could see that. I think it depends. It really depends on how it sounds, because we don't have a good read on the live performance yet, because the production of this national final wasn't good enough for us to get a read on the live performance. Now we've done that, I think it's time we move on. And we will go to, so we've got 2 more and about an hour to go, I think. So we have San Marino and San Remo. I think San Remo, because you were there, James, and you can give us so much insight, I think that'll be a lovely way to finish. We can talk about Sal Da Vinci and Donatella Piaga and others.
Should tease as well, Gabe, just for everyone. I can also tell you about what it is like to watch one of the San Remo shows inside the Teatro Ariston.
In the Ariston.
In the theatre itself, yeah. I was in there twice through the week. It's an experience, but I'll go into that later, because we've got to talk about Little Italy now.
Yes, tiny Italy, strange Italy, running a pyramid scheme Italy. It's San Marino. Sorry, I meant Donatella Piaga. Sorry, I misspoke. Yeah. Donatella Piaga. I was thinking so much about not saying Piaggia that I forgot about the first half.
It's fine. It's a long... How many syllables is that?
Many.
7 syllables, that.
All right. So, I guess we better get into this. I think I'm going to talk about the ethics of this national final once we've gone through some of the songs. I don't know how much I'm going to remember. Let's
try and whiz through these.
Yeah. Mess. Oh, very, very short clips. Everyone's getting Janis. So it's very Pussy Riot, but this is actually one of the better ones in my opinion. It kind of sounds...
It's not something about it.
Yeah. It's a bit giving San Remo a reject, actually, in some ways.
Yeah, it's the Frock and Snusk of the San Marino lineup.
Well, quite. Indeed. Frock and Snusk, although that's all take... speaking of Frock and Snusk, I hope you've all watched the Sweden video. If not, went up last night, you've got to watch it.
Yes, everyone, go and watch that, and especially go and watch the bit Tobber did about the story of Felicia and Rasmus Gosse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can say I was there when you filmed it, and I was sat there like...
I remember when we left, and we were like, shit, we're emotionally invested, she has to win.
We were walking over the bridge like, oh my God, there is no other outcome. We have to have this woman win for justice and all this stuff. And she did, obviously.
Yeah. Luhani says, please let's not talk about AI Boy George. Unfortunately, we're going to have to, but thank you very much for the 50 dinar.
Yeah.
I appreciate that very much. But yeah, please go watch that. In fact, there's all the vlogs this season. I'm actually, I don't mean to sound big-headed or anything. I'm really, really proud of the vlogs we've done this season in Estonia and Finland and Sweden and Moldova. If you haven't watched all of them already, please do. I think it's the things that I'm most proud of the videos we've made on the channel. And I hope you guys have enjoyed them as much as I enjoyed making them, and as, much as I've enjoyed sort of seeing all of it come together at the end. I also really want to do a massive thank you to Ned, who has been editing those vlogs for us and has done some brilliant things. But yeah, let's move on to the next song. Sorry, I immediately got sidetracked. We have a former Eurovision entrant, Magdalena Tull. I mean, it's a song. She's got a good voice. Obviously, she has a good voice.
Yeah, no question on the voice. The song is the song. Yeah, it's a well-sung nothing burger.
Yeah. It's just a ballad. It is just a ballad. For some reason, it was giving me Malta a little bit. It's like, I see we're in the semi-final of MESC.
It's a little bit Malta. Like the dress. That's one thing I can definitely give it. Dress is good.
Yeah. She looks fabulous, and she is a great singer. But I suspect this was probably rejected from the Polish national final. Clem. That's not Clem.
Where did you go? Right, Clem.
Again, really felt like a Sanremo ripoff, like sort of reject. They kind of, let's do Sanremo.
It's very when you've got a work Zoom meeting, but you have Zumba straight after, isn't it?
I kind of know what you mean. That's so bizarrely specific, but it makes sense. Again, like, I appreciate people who at least do something. But as Nelolante says, this song was released in May 2025, so...
Oh, was it? So that would have been straight out of the rules. Although
I don't think they do background checks in San Marino. We will talk about the internal selections, Witty Alpaca, don't worry. But they don't do background checks on these songs. They take their money, they say thank you very much, and then they work out the details later.
Exactly that.
Mm-hmm. Next.
Why do I strangely love that?
It feels like I'm on hold to my like mobile provider. And they've got like their Love Island music playlist on.
Yeah, it's like the Jet 2 play. Like, how long does it take, do you think, to be hold on the phone before you hear that? Like 20 good minutes?
Well, no, the trick is they only have one song on loop, so you hear this song 20 times.
It really is like, you know, those cruise ships that your grandparents go on, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, this is one for the kids. This is what all the kids are listening to.
Yeah. It reminds me a bit of that, you know, that song that goes like ba 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 da 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 da.
What's that song called? Joel Corey and M&E.K. Head and Heart. That's it.
Or like sort of maybe what's his name? Something by Jonas Blue, something like that. It gives me that.
Oh yeah, in that kind of wheelhouse of very safe radio dance music.
Yeah. And you know, it's like tonight in the villa, 2 new bombshells come in.
Gabe, we do have a Love Islander this year.
Well, this is true.
Use the Love Island lingo.
Yeah. Antigone has been dumped from the Love Island villa, but she'll return in Casa Amor. That's what they're giving.
That's what they're giving. Antigone will find a match in the final of the Eurovision Song Contest, which she is performing in.
She will get to the final very comfortably.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
Good job, Antigone. You know what? I was really impressed by her. Anyway, that's not the point. We'll come back to that. Next. Great vocals. Little more, what's the word? Enunciation needed. But it's just a song. Yeah. Like, it's Malta semi-final ballad.
Yeah, exactly that. It's kind of like you're straight down the bullseye. Here is a ballad. I am a singer. Listen to my vocal. Is that enough?
Hey, I am a singer. Sorry. Anyone who gets that gets a 2026 season like gold pass. Oh my god, we're moving on.
Rip you off. It'll be iceberg gold soon.
Simon says, did you know Emmy's brother and Elisa from Estilal were in the semi-finals? Yes, and they both flopped, as did Sheila from Albania. My favorite song for the selection was Figaro, says Jimlon. I think I don't have a favorite because I don't think I liked any of them. Let's move on. I'm sorry, what is going on in the background?
Yeah, hold on. Can we have that clip again?
Yeah.
We need a VAR on this. Oh, what? I mean, like, yeah, that's cool, but why?
It's such a mismatch for the song. It makes no sense.
Someone's gone late in the day, right? We really need a bit of movement on this, Paolo. You are just standing there doing the tune. I know some guy.
I love how they haven't even lit up the dancers or anything. They're just in the dark in the back.
Yeah.
Like, would it have made any difference if you just had me there, like, you know, just like sort of doing this? No one would have seen me either.
Next year, we're going to apply to be like house dancers for Dreaming San Marino. We'll be like Zara Larson's.
Yes, but in San Marino. Oh, God. And yeah, this came third, apparently, says Laurie Can official. So unless I've been one guide, yeah, I mean, the results make no sense in this show ever. So there we are. I did once have an idea where I'd like go into this show as like for a YouTube video. But genuinely, I don't have any confidence in the way the process is run, for, like, to the point that I'd be like, what's the point? and I don't really want to support it with my money. And I'll get to that. I'll get to why. Let's move on. Orphe, Rise Again. Once again, enunciation. Kind of reminds me of Rocco from Croatia years ago. You know, the I have a dream.
Oh yeah, no, I see that now. I was so fascinated by just how ripped the outfit was that I realized it was a full rip was coming.
It's like maybe it just something went wrong in rehearsals, and they just were like, "Well, we don't have a replacement, so you're just gonna have to go with it now."
Rock with it, yeah. Just save the rip until the end. We cannot stitch that back together, Orphe. The money's already gone to the contestant fee.
Hunter of Stars says Bessa should have joined San Marino Song Contest this year with Tiki. He probably would have come in the top 5, to be honest.
Yes.
All we need is love. Lovely. That's nice. You know that song that you hear at every football match that involves the French national team, like "C'est la vie, la 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 la, da 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 da." We are ripping off this song.
Thank you, Andreas Habibi and Aura, for your contribution to the Eurovision tapestry.
And it was, yeah, I mean, it was okay, I guess, but I mean, again, it's like, why? Why did you do this? But there we are. Someone says, have you ever seen the Euro song Father Ted episode? It's one of the best ones. I actually have. You know, have you seen that, James?
I have not, actually.
Their song is called My Lovely Horse, and it goes, My lovely horse,
yeah, so that's
running through the fields. Where did you go? I don't remember the next one. Anyway, it was like, I want to shower you with sugar lumps.
That's a top 10 this year, if they
And then there's a sax solo.
All good songs have a sax solo. I don't know why people slag off the sax solo. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Right, now, Dolce Nera, not Dolce Hera. There's an important difference. So, an actual real-life, serviceable Italian pop song. It sounds like many other Italian pop songs, but I like her voice, and at least, you know, I enjoyed this.
This is okay.
Like, I listened to this without putting my head in my hands, which is more than I can say for most of the songs in this show.
The one thing I noticed, though, is, and this is a thing that very nerdy Eurovision people know, obviously we can't play the piano live at any Eurovision event because it's all playback, but you want to have the piano aesthetic. So the thing I look for is, well, how well do you play the piano fake?
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed on that pivot shot is Dolcenera is borderline slapping that piano on the right, like bang, bang.
Yeah, but I think it is actually right. It looks right to me.
Semi-right, but
yeah.
like a hand movement is way off.
She's going for it. As unfortunately too many people here did. A lot of them shouldn't have. But she has rights. She can stay. Mickey, Out of Tune, which I think is quite a bad thing to name a song. Like, why would you name your song Out of Tune? Maybe it's just me. Anyway.
Maybe it's like setting up, it's hedging.
I mean, it's not a very good song. Maybe he set the expectations low for a reason.
No, I mean, he wasn't horribly out of tune. I just think the song is out of time by about 30 years.
Yeah, and the costumes are bad, and you know, it's not good. It's just not good. Give me good disco, not bad disco. So sorry, Mickey, not this time.
When you go to Dreaming San Marino, do you say you're now in the Republic of San Marino? Please remember to set your watch back 20 years because that's where the music from.
Next, Kelly Joyce with Oh La La. For some reason, one of the la's has a little accent on it. I prefer it to the last disco song, actually. I still don't like it, but it's better than the last one.
It's just zero energy.
There's a lot of that in this show, to be fair. A lot of zero energy. You've got to remember that I think a lot of the people in this show, respectfully, are amateurs who are looking for an opportunity. And it is an opportunity, in a sense. Can't blame people for going for it. But yeah, this came second, apparently.
Right.
So she nearly went to Eurovision. I mean, if this had gone to Eurovision, it would have come last. Although the winner is coming last as well, so that doesn't make much difference. Apparently, she used to be famous, but I have to say, respectfully, I'm not familiar with her previous work. At least she can sing. Not a universal truth in this show.
Yeah, French singer-songwriter, having done the quick look up. So
there we go.
That's where the fame comes from. Yeah, well, it's not gone to Eurovision, and we can leave it at that.
Oh my god, this is one of the worst things I ever heard in my life.
Ooh. I feel unsettled. I feel like someone's breathing down the back of my neck when I hear that.
I mean, this song could be like the theme song of like sweaty middle-aged men who go into bars in Magaluf frequented exclusively by like British 18 and 19-year-olds. I think it's so slimy.
I think it's the phrase, "Boys, we're going to Cheltenham." In song. Oh, I just feel... I feel a little... I feel like I need another shower. I had a shower before this stream, and now I need another shower because of this.
Yeah, and remember, this came through the semi-finals. The semi-finals voted, like, this was the jury put this near the top of their list. And I have watched the performance, and the whole thing is really weird and uncomfortable, and I hated it. Someone says, you enjoyed Brat Pellin. Who are you to speak, Gabe? Brat Pellin was excellent. Don't insult Brat Pellin with this. Brat Pellin was exceptional. This was not. Safe to say. It was extremely not exceptional. It was exceptionally bad. And it's not Turbo Ass, because Turbo Ass has a certain positivity to it. Let's move on. Anna Smith. It's a Disney ballad. Don't have anything else to say.
I'm half expecting like Andrew Lloyd Webber to be sitting on a judging panel going, "You can play Maria."
Sorry, I just want to go back a second because Luhani says he looks like both meanings of the word goon.
Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh, we've stumbled upon the rare double goon.
Oh. Let's move on.
Oh dear. Dear.
Oh, Jesus. I see. It's a let's do a Eurovision song. Now, let's not call that guy Benson Goon, please.
The dance in this is good, at least. Like the choreo is nice.
Yeah, but it's like, it's still, disaster pop.
Oh, 100%. But like, at least it has something redeeming in it, unlike Benson Goon 2 songs ago.
Yeah, well, quite. Oh, I've lost our place. Where were we? Too far ahead. There we go.
No, it was further back. Yeah, that was where we were.
Okay, Rosa Chemical. Not a name I expected to see here, but there we go. Do you reckon this was rejected from Sanremo?
How wet is water?
And this flopped. It flopped. It finished behind like a bunch of those other, people that we talked about.
Yeah. It's just not a very good song. And no disrespect to Rosa Chemical, it's just not a good song.
Yeah. Rosa Chemical couldn't even come in the top 3 in like the Kia Asylum Song Contest.
That should be its official name soon. Someone should sort that out.
But yeah, Cappuccino Macchiato says Ninja Apata para el Pueblo. Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
Someone's just said Machine Goon Kelly. I don't even know what you're referring to anymore, but that's a good one. Keep that for when you find a way to use it usefully. Okay, next we have Orchestracja. Some of these I'm just like, I have nothing interesting to say about this. It's just some dudes singing a song.
You know what? I'm gonna see the redeeming quality in it. That's just a group of dads just getting together and having fun. You know, we live in a male mental health and loneliness epidemic. This is the kind of stuff we should be celebrating.
Yeah.
Get
It's
the guys together.
some friendly dudes. You know, it's just some friendly dudes singing a song.
Good guys, like, you know, and they'll be in the pub and they might buy you a drink.
Yeah.
Great.
And they'd slap you on the shoulder and go, "Hey, bud."
Yeah, hey bud, how are you? How much do you know about power tools?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about here.
And if you don't know how to use a power tool, they will demonstrate it to you, and they'll let you try it out as well.
Yes, and if you're a woman, they will explain it to you 7 or 8 times.
In using that very specific patronizing tone that men use when speaking to.
the
Anyway,
tone.
let's move on to the winner.
Our winner, minus.
Oh, Chrome protested and tried to not play it. Right. Money was spent. Dancers just off of Dua Lipa's world tour. Like,
Were they?
Anders
wow.
Vretov was one of the songwriters.
Yeah, of Julie Argard and Thomas Stengard were on this as well, who wrote the UK's last 2 entries. Or possibly 2.
I would think this was funny and silly and camp and be like, oh, it's Senate, if it weren't for the feature, which was Boy George. And in order to, Boy George has been replying to lots of people recently, so I'm just gonna take my screen off for a second, and I'm going to just show you the articles instead of saying anything myself, other than what is in this article. Boy George went to prison for handcuffing someone to a radiator and threatening them with sex toys. Is this someone we want in the Eurovision Song Contest, or anywhere near it, in fact? In any year? No. And I think it's very, very, very disappointing that this person could potentially be at Eurovision. Boy George, for reference, is very famous in the UK. He was in a band called Culture Club, very, very popular a few decades ago.
Chameleon is the song that you will know. Even if you don't know it, you've heard
Yeah,
it.
come a chameleon. That one.
Boy George.
So, I mean, I find this really uncomfortable as a result. For that reason, I'm like, I don't want these kinds of people around the Eurovision bubble. It's not safe, quite frankly. I don't think it's responsible to have someone who's convicted of something like this in proximity to, you know, staff and to fans and so on, purely on the basis of what is documented fact of his past actions.
Obviously, the one thing that we do need to mention is that Boy George hasn't been included in any of the socials around Senhit competing by the EBU and the Eurovision team just yet. They've just been saying it's Senhit competing. So that's still up in the air. So hopefully it's a case where it's just going to be Senhit, because I agree with you, Gabe. It's interesting that we're having a moral panic about the lyrics for Choke Me, and yet I've not seen the same mainstream moral panic about Boy George, a man who's been arrested for that and was on Twitter literally today or yesterday when someone falsely said it was sexual assault, and then he said, oh, it was just assault, actually, as if that was fine.
Yeah, just assault, actually, as if he didn't handcuff someone to a radiator and threaten them with sex toys.
Yeah, which is still, you know, has a component.
Apparently, he's still replying to people on Twitter, by the way.
Was he still? Yeah. I sense we might have a lot of this.
Yeah, maybe he'll see this. Hi, Mr. Boy.
Mr. Boy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't believe, to be honest, I think that if there was someone you were going to say, turn around and go, absolutely not. I think the EBU would be perfectly within their rights to turn around and say, you cannot bring a convicted criminal to Eurovision like this. It's bad for the competition. It's not safe for our staff. You can't do it. I really hope he stays at home. If it's just Senhit who turns up in Vienna, I think everyone would breathe a sigh of relief. And it
Yes.
would mean that somebody who has, come to Eurovision a bunch of times would get to remove a lot of the cloud over this.
Yeah, because like if Senhit goes, that's all that she'll be asked about if Boy George is there. There are
Yeah.
not going to be many other questions, unfortunately. The song's going to be overshadowed. And you can think what you want about the song. Personally, I think it's sort of all of it's it's Melfest offcuts season. We all know that. But we don't want that entire entry to be completely overshadowed by this discourse about why we're letting a guy who chained someone to a radiator, not allegedly did do this, he is convicted of doing this. We're talking about facts here. And we're going to let someone like that into Eurovision. Someone was disqualified because there was a criminal trial against him that was active. We now have a proper convicted of. It just feels completely backward for the EBU to allow this. I hope they don't. I don't think they will. And I'll give a lot of credit to them if they make what I think is the right decision on this.
That said, I think the correct thing to do in terms of protecting Senate and protecting and keeping this from becoming a storm, you have to work out a way to do it quietly. Boy George, I don't know if he will allow that to happen. But yeah, I mean, he really shouldn't be anywhere near. It's not, you can't bring, to be blunt, anyone who would fail a DBS check, which is the check that you have to pass to work with vulnerable people in the UK, and work in basically any position of trust, shouldn't be at Eurovision. It's a safeguarding issue. And let's not forget that someone got disqualified 2 years ago from Eurovision for a safeguarding issue. So
Yeah.
I think that I genuinely, I really, really, really think you shouldn't be. I feel really strongly about this. You cannot allow this. You can't allow someone like this to be at Eurovision.
Well, we all have to sign the code of conduct.
Yeah.
Since last year, we have the code of conduct now. And we sign that as fan media to walk in the room. Obviously, you haven't technically signed one yet, but you will this year. And so do all the artists, and they have to make the pledge to Eurovision's values. You can't possibly take those seriously if you've got Boy George pledging to those values, because that just undermines the entire value system of your code of conduct. So this is the exact thing that it's... Again, yeah, I don't think they will let him in. I hope that we're all kicking up hot water over a decision that maybe already has been made.
Gustav Svensson says she released a version on Friday without him. So,
Yes.
fingers crossed. Yeah, and it's one line in the song. You don't need him there. In addition, he's been washed for 20 years or whatever. So, but yeah, I think no controversy on the final position of this, which will be last or near it in the semi-final.
Yes, it will. It's probably going to be. It's going to struggle to make it.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on to somebody who sent a song I love very much to FIK. FIK. I'm just saying FIK to annoy people now. Ines Naziri. I mean, she's a great singer. This song is so much worse than her FIK song. Her FIK song was amazing. This is dumb. Beautiful voice. Brilliant artist. Want to see her in Eurovision again, representing Albania, preferably. Why did she do this? Any suggestions?
A couple of examples in this San Marino contest of great artist, song not there. This is clearly one.
I'm going to do a poll, by the way, while we go through these next songs on whether San Marino will qualify. I hope there will only be one answer to this question. San Marino results. Question mark. Okay, here comes the poll. I'll say it like I'm saying, here comes the airplane, like a child. Here
It's
comes
like the choo train. Here comes the poll. Remember to say NQ.
There we go. Poll in. Someone says maybe she submitted to FIK and was rejected this year. She was in FIK this year. She came second with a much better song.
And she sent the B-side here.
Yeah, I really don't know what this was about. Very confusing. Very, very confusing. I'm really interested in the 2% of people, by the way, who said that this is going to come in the top 10.
In fairness, Senhit could get the money to bring Pitbull out. She did try this once.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so those 2% people, I'm really glad that the OGAY International Committee has joined us on this stream. Welcome to all of you. No, I shouldn't say that. Moving on. I'm ending the poll now. 91% of you say NQ on YouTube. On Twitch, 87%. I mean, that's pretty conclusive. Pretty conclusive. 3% of people say 1 to 10. I think some people are just, it's like if you can get 3% of people to agree with you on anything. If you poll on literally anything, 3% of people will agree with it. Anyway, move on to him again.
Again, yes. With the same project.
ESC Tom in 2 places at once. This also was just bad, wasn't it?
What's the exact same thing as the Romania one.
It's worse.
How was this pulled together, and we've switched the guitar for an accordion.
Yeah. Thanks, Edward, I guess, but no thanks from us. Maya Azukena, My Sin. This I am giving the Jules Hollands annual New Year's Eve Hootenanny Award.
Hootenanny quality, this.
It's extremely hootenanny. God, she can sing, but the song is not very interesting. But great voice. Brilliant voice. Thank you very much, Carlos, for that 199. Sorry, go on.
This is the song where Jules would have to get on the piano and just be like, oh, someone's got to liven this up. And you get this 65-year-old just whacking out jazz chords just to do something with it. Yeah, good singer. So many good singer nothing songs in this lineup. Yeah, I didn't obviously watch San Marino because San Marino on the Friday night before Melfest.
Yeah, it was the day before Melfest. Yeah, we were you were hosting a pre-party at the time. For those of you who didn't know, there is a pre-party, a sort of Eurovision pre-party the night before Melfest. James hosted it this year.
Yeah, I hosted it with Miss Toby, who has been on like Drag Race Sverige and does a bunch of like Eurovision things. She's hosting the London Hagen show, and she's done Melfest weekend for a while. So yeah, there was 4 Eurovision acts who performed. So there was Aiden, Tamara, Vara from Latvia, and Tamara. No, I've already said Tamara. Alice from Albania.
Yeah, that's the one. Alice is amazing live.
Wow, wasn't he good live?
Yeah. They need to put. Speaking of which, we'll come back to this. They need to put subtitles on the screen for that song.
Yes,
but we'll talk about that in a minute because I actually think it's a huge, humongous difference if they do. Let's continue to Marco.
It's your moment for what, Mark? Don't you just hate it when you're riding your bike and the tyre punctures, but really, really small, and you just hear it? Oh my god!
Oh, Jesus. Thank you, Thomas. What was the most robbed song national final season? I'm going to make a video about my top 10 favorite national final songs probably next week, so more information.
Oh,
Wina Numa Ditsa Begin.
Oh, that sounded more like Cesar from 2013 than I was expecting.
Oh my god.
Ooh, okay. It's your moment. Oh.
What's going on here?
What does he have on his face?
Oh, the Sheldon Riley access shop. Yeah.
Yellow t-shirt. There's so much going on.
That's the last song as well. That's caught me off guard. That has.
Wow.
Oh my god. Should we talk about San Remo?
Yeah, let's move swiftly on from that into San Remo. Just a perfect segue.
Right. James, you were there. Tell us about San Remo, please.
Okay. I mean, what do you want to know? I mean, it's
tell us everything about the experience. What's it like? Because it's sort of a mystery for Euro fans. Because no one has gone, and no one knows anyone that has gone.
No, it is. It does feel very like unknown, doesn't it? Like before I went, I had all these impressions about, okay, Sanremo is really long. It's kind of this own thing in Italy. It's its own kind of beast. It's not going to feel like a Eurovision show. And I kind of heard those things, went, oh, okay, I'll see what happens. I got the opportunity to go. I should say, massive thank you to ESC Insight for setting it up, and to Radio 6 International, which is a radio company that worked with. So I was doing a show called a Laura Cast for them through the week, which is why I was able to go. I was accredited under them, and they did a fabulous job with me. They're a really good team of guys. So when I got there, we spent a week there, and you feel it build up. The best way to describe it is Sanremo is a town of 55,000 people. On Festival Saturday, it's 100,000 people.
Wow.
You can't move on the Saturday. If you, oh, hi, Cheese. Cheese has come for Sanremo. Cheese knows art.
He's come for Snuggles by the look of it.
Oh, that's an improvement. Yeah, so as the week goes on, it just gets more and more packed. The town becomes... No one's listening. Cheese is on the frame.
No, it's fine. Keep talking. We're listening, I promise.
Yeah. So you get there and you just can't move because all of Italy's media industry is basically moved out there on trucks. So that's taken over all the narrow streets. It's full of people. There's performances happening everywhere. There's brand activations every street corner for like Aperol Spritz, which sponsors Fanta Sanremo, which is nuts. Like a couple of other ones. And if you get within half a mile of the Ariston, good luck even trying to walk. I maybe saw the Ariston about 4 times because you just don't go near the thing at any point in the day. It's absolutely heaving with people. And because it's Italy, everyone's chaotically moving around. There's no real structure. So, yeah, it's very overwhelming. I'd even say overstimulating at times because there's so much happening. Yeah, it's amazing, though. Like, amazing.
And someone chat points out you can win trips to Korea playing Fanta Sanremo. It's that, over the top.
Yeah, it's serious.
You did get the chance to go in the Ariston.
I did, yeah.
What's it like in there? Does it feel like, oh my God, like does it have an aura when you walk in?
It has an aura, yeah. Obviously, you and I have both been to a few national finals. I mean, a good comparison is Melfest because that's in the Strawberry Arena. That's 30,000 people are in there. It's a 55,000 seater football stadium. The scale of that's massive. The Ariston could not be any more opposite. It's tiny. It's maybe 500 people,
Wow.
600 people get in the room for a show. How I got in, I should thank Rye because Rye actually got me in. I will never be more thankful for them than I am for that. They gave me a seat like right on the end. And I got to watch everything. You walk into the Ariston. I was up the top in the gallery. Everyone in there is dressed like black tie, like it's an event. You do not want to walk in there without a suit jacket because you will feel underdressed. Everyone is up to the nines. Everyone goes up to the top and is taking photos in the Ariston. Everyone. Even like these rich people, because there are rich people who go to this, they're all still doing the selfies. The Ariston has an aura about it. You feel like you're walking into history. They've got all of the photos up like in the foyer. So they've got photos of like Volare in there and all of the great winners and the history. It's all, yeah, it's like you're really stepping into history. And because Sanremo is older than Eurovision, there's even more history there. And yeah, it's really, really wild to be in there.
I would love to cover Sanremo in person. I'd love to go there. I think something tells me I'm not very high on Rye's like sort of list of people to accredit, given they have every single media organization in Italy to accredit first.
Yes,
and it's a tiny event, but I would love to sort of get just a glimpse into it. And it is cheesy. Okay, it's all right. He's just for a second I thought he was about to poop, which I would have had to run for the air purifier as quickly as I could. But no, he's just peeing. It's fine. I hope. Anyway, besides, I'm losing my train of thought. I just think it has this kind of astonishing vintage. Donda speculates whether Rye is soft launching Eurovision fan media entering. I think it's unlikely just because of the level of interest. And also, from Rye's point of view, maybe 10, 20, 30,000 people watch it outside of Italy. Maybe a little more. Maybe let's be ultra generous and say 100,000 people are watching it, Eurofans. That is probably way too high. 12 million, 14 million people are watching it in Italy. So the audience is literally more than 100 times bigger in Italy.
This is a purely domestic event. Like you hear the line, you can't call Sanremo a national final, and that that gets bandied around, and that's true. But you can't call Sanremo anything other than Sanremo because there is no comparison for it. You cannot walk in this town, and I had to walk a bit because it's quite expensive to stay out there, so we had to stay a little bit out of town, and we walked because public transport in Sanremo is not massively developed. And so you walk down the coastline and you run into the cafes and the pizza places and all of the things you associate with Italy. And everyone in there is talking about Sanremo. Everyone in there is talking about Fedez Massini or Sal da Vinci or playing the songs or speculating. It takes over everyone's lives for the whole week. It's kind of like a fever dream. Everyone changes their sleep schedule because the shows are on till 2 in the morning. You live this thing. The best way to describe it, how Sanremo is in Italy, is we call it Sanremo. In Italy, you would think they call it the Festival della Canzone Italiana or the Festival di Sanremo. No, they don't. They call it Il Festival.
The festival.
The festival. That's it. You don't need to make any other qualifier. It is the festival. End of, full stop. It's a totally different level.
Wow. With that in mind, we should look at some of the songs. We're not going to look at all of them because there's 30, and it means we can talk a little bit more about some of the ones that came near the top, some of the favourites. We can talk about the song that's going to Eurovision, and a few others that sort of had cultural impact. We're going to start with the song that very nearly won this thing and lost it by a couple, like a percentage point. We should say we don't have live performances. There is not a live performance recap because Rai is very strict with such things. And I guess for Misha Eurovision, it wasn't possible to make one. So music video recap instead. My apologies. Let's have a quick listen to a few seconds of each song. So, Arisa came second, very nearly won the whole thing. I'm going to quickly get the results up while I'm talking about this.
Arisa came fourth, I want to say.
Oh, sorry, I thought she came second for some reason.
It's fourth. I mean, don't necessarily absolutely quote me on that, but...
Yeah, the total, second, I'll tell you what.
Super final.
Fourth in the super final. That's my fault. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, with respect, this was not a song I particularly enjoyed. I thought it was quite boring.
It's a bit Disney, isn't it?
It's very Disney. What did you think?
Yeah, it's a bit Disney. I think the reason Arisa did well is more down to the fact, I mean, Arisa has won Sanremo twice. So she is a really known quantity in Italy. They know, people love her. They know exactly what she's going to get. And also, I think, I'm not sure Magica Favolo was a lot of people's favourite songs, but you heard a lot of people say it was their second favourite. Or their third favourite, and there were a lot of people saying that. And it's kind of a song where I think people were like, oh, I like Arisa. This song sounds nice. Her vocal is great. The best story I have, actually, one of the best things from Sanremo is, last year when Georgia didn't make the final and everyone in the Aristone was like about to riot.
Yes.
On Summer's night, there was a really similar thing with Arisa, and I'm not sure how much it translated. That was the night I was in the Aristone, by the way. It was for covers night on the Friday.
Yeah.
Arisa came third. She'd done a cover with a choir from Parma. And it was amazing. It was really, really beautiful. It came third, and it was honestly Georgia levels of riot. That's how much they like Arisa in Italy.
It is crazy as well that the crowd can really turn. Italians do not beat around the bush with what they think.
Yeah, they don't mess about.
With this especially, like, they take this seriously. But yeah, as for this, nah, not for me.
It's there.
We'll go on. Who should we talk about next?
I don't know.
How about her?
Yeah, we can talk about her. That we can talk about.
Dito nella piaga. Hopefully I pronounced that well. Che fastidio.
How annoying that translates to.
This, in my opinion, it's a hit. Firstly, it's a hit. If you want an answer to the occasional criticism that full of ballads that sound the same, whatever. I feel like that's the primary criticism that Remo gets, right? a total tonic to that was this. I thought, I'm surprised it actually, if you look at the results, she came third. She won both juries, but only came fourth with the public. To be honest, I thought this was going to win, and I was really surprised that it didn't. James, what was the mood surrounding this in Italy?
There's two different moods, I think. It's interesting because one of the things about Sanremo is that the voting system is really, really complicated. And it builds on all of the nights voting. So if you don't know, to get to the super final, the votes from like the Tuesday and Wednesday all count. So it kind of builds. And so your relationships with the song changes. And actually there's like an inner momentum in Sanremo you've kind of got to have. And Titanella Piaga started out, we get to go to rehearsals on the Monday in the Aristons. That was the second time I went. We all watched it, thought it was obviously great. All really supportive of it. It makes the top 5 on the Tuesday night where all the 30 perform. We're like, oh, great, this is right in there. And then it didn't make the top 5 in its like semi-final on the Wednesday where 15 songs perform. And it didn't make the top 5 out of those. And so we were all like, oh, is the momentum gone? And so it was fading. And then she won covers night and then the momentum came right back. And in the end, I think it just got held back by, to be honest, the romantic fairy tale story that occurred in terms of who won.
And I'll ask you to tell that story in a bit, by the way, because I think it's best coming from you.
But yeah, I think, I mean, if you want to talk about the song, this is unquestionably would have been the best for Eurovision out of the Sanremo lineup. This would have hammered at Eurovision this year. This would have been top 5.
I mean, I think, yes, I think she would have done great. I think, honestly, it takes some of what I loved about La Noia, but it's better than La Noia, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would actually agree. On the vocal is maybe the one thing, because I think Angelina Mango is a stunningly good vocalist, but as we obviously experienced together when she did Utterly Surreal. But this would have been really great at the contest. But also, for people who are going, oh, it was robbed, I don't think it was, because Sanremo is not voting for a Eurovision song, it's voting for a Sanremo song. And I think the winner of Sanremo was a better winner of Sanremo than this would have been.
I mean, it's really difficult. It's why I deliberately tried to avoid getting attached to songs in Italy, because I know the chance of the song in question winning is minuscule because there's 30 songs and it's so competitive. I kind of, for that reason, deliberately, I listened to this once and I thought, oh God, I really love this. Then proceeded to deliberately not listen to it again until after Sanremo was gone, because I was like, can't get attached. I have too much going on. I can't get attached. And then I listened to it again and I was like, oh, easily my favorite. Are you allowed to disclose how you voted? Because obviously you voted in Sanremo as part of the press.
Vote in Sanremo. I think it's past the point, so I can't see any reason why I couldn't. I won't say everything. What I will say is that one of the votes I cast on the final night was for Titanella Piaga.
Okay. I don't know how the voting system works for that either.
And honestly, if I tried to explain it, we'd be here until midnight.
Okay. Well, in any case, I'm sure everyone will congratulate you on good taste, because this was exceptional. I thought just really, really exceptional. So good job. Please come back. Let's move on. Let's not. Eddie came last, so we won't talk about him.
Yeah.
Elettra Lamborghini.
We can talk about how much do you know about Elettra Lamborghini's week?
Nothing. Tell me everything.
Okay, so Elettra Lamborghini did the following things during Sanremo week. This won't be in linear order, but all of it is funny.
Okay.
He performs on the first night. A couple of nights into Sanremo, she starts complaining that the residents of Sanremo are holding too many wild parties long into the night. This is Sanremo. What do you expect?
Yeah.
So, because when you hear Elettra Lamborghini, you think Lamborghini car, there's a reason she is part of the actual Lamborghini family. So she's got quite a bit of money. So she goes to Monte Carlo, which is just up the road, to get a quiet night's sleep.
As you do.
As you do. The problem is when she gets to Monaco, she happens to arrive on the evening of Charles Leclerc and his wife's hen night.
No.
And that happens to be in the same hotel she has booked. So there goes another night of sleep for poor Elettra Lamborghini. What this meant is that as the week went on, Elettra got more and more unhinged in interviews. She did an interview with Rai Radio 2 where she said that she didn't enjoy having sex with her husband anymore. Her husband is Afrojack, by the way.
What?
Yeah, so much lore with Electra Lamborghini. And then she asked if one of the guest hosts of one of the nights had a big penis.
Okay.
5.
Yeah.
And then she did a covers night song with Last Ketchup. And then on the final night, rather than celebrate her week, her last words on San Remo were roughly translated, "I have a feeling I won't be seeing you again." One of the most sensational diva weeks I have ever seen. Praise be
my
Lamborghini.
That is outstanding. You know, I think they'll bring her back.
Please, I'll give anything.
I honestly think that, like, I mean, come on, Fedez is here, and half of Italy wants to kill him. So, like,
Fedez has his own things.
and last year there was a guy who everyone knew was involved with the mafia in Milan, and only got removed after he was literally arrested for being involved with the mafia in Milan. So I think, to be honest, San Remo, they're not that concerned about if you're a bit of a diva.
Remo, this is nothing. This is light stuff. No, she's wonderful, incredibly funny.
Oh my gosh, this is just excellent, absolutely excellent. Yeah, no, love you, Electra. We'll play a few seconds of a song.
Yes. The bop as well.
Camp.
Just camp, yeah.
Let's move forward to Could Not Be a More Different Mood. Could not be a more different mood.
Yeah.
Ermal Meta with Stellina. So, for those of you who don't know, this song is, he had the name, I believe it's the name Amal, stitched into his collar.
He had a different name on a different part of his outfit every night.
Each one of which was a Palestinian child who had been murdered by Israel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he said that he didn't know the exact name, so he chose names that were representative of a child who'd been killed in Gaza. Yeah.
Now, that obviously, this is the other thing, is that San Remo, there are some really, really like heartrending, beautiful stories written into these songs, and Italian is an excellent and expressive language. Like there was a song last year about someone singing to their mum, or to their, I think it's to either to their mum or their spouse, I can't remember, and about the fact they have Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And things like this. So really, no one tells a story better than Italy and Italians. This is very in line with Ermal Meta. I mean, think about it. Non mi avete fatto niente was an extremely like political song as well that covered a lot of the same things. The line that I've been seeing a lot quoted over the last year or two is, "There's no such thing as a pacifist bomb." You know, Ermal Meta sings about what he believes in. And I think in a lot of ways that makes this song, it makes the weight so much more, because you know that it's 100% authentic. It's 100% him. Yeah, I mean, he did pretty well. He came, I think it was 7th or something like that.
7th or 8th, yeah. Which honestly was a surprise to us. We all thought he'd make the super final.
Yeah.
Ermal Meta never not made the super final.
Oh, wow.
In all of his competing entries. So we'd honestly thought that was going to be in, when you consider the subject matter. I think it's a testament to San Remo being so unique that it would allow a song like this, because there is no more head-on confrontation of the Israel-Gaza conflict than this in any kind of Eurovision adjacent thing. It's so head-on, and powerfully so.
And there's a really interesting kind of relationship that San Remo in particular has with this, because I remember Gali a year or two ago saying "stop the genocide" on stage, and there was the whole thing about this in Italy. Thank you, Luhani, for the 10 dinars. And yeah, and the title is Taz. Don't worry, that message, it was a reference to a video game. I think it was not the best placed one, but it wasn't meant to be like sort of making light of anything, I don't think. Yeah, so right, I think it's part of the nature of the chaotic nature of San Remo is that actually it creates a very large and I guess controversial but tacitly accepted by the Italian public space to discuss a lot of these political things, because it is so intertwined in outside, not just pop culture, in Italian culture and tradition now, it's going to represent the entirety of Italian society and the diversity of opinion and the diversity of perspectives within that. I think this is another example of that. And it's actually one thing I really respect about San Remo is, I mean, as we've seen in the extreme case, let's take like Elettra Lamborghini, nothing gets held back, nothing gets censored. It's as it is, warts and all, everything. And I think something could be learned by some organizations, I can't believe I'm saying this, from the way in which, such things are tacitly accepted as part of it.
I mean, during San Remo, they did segments this year about bullying. They had someone on who'd been the victim of an attack, or like a robbery attack that left him paraplegic. They had him on, and he said something along the lines of, "We won't give these people a fucking inch," was the rough translation, which was really good. There was a piece about femicide during the final, where they had a man come on and talk about toxic masculinity, which is, for Italy, quite something. San Remo is not afraid to play around in these ballparks. It says things, it wears its heart on its sleeve. It's utterly chaotic, and none of it makes any sense whatsoever in any form of known logic in the universe. That's why it's endearing.
Yeah. But no, I really respect Ermal Meta for doing this. And also, I think let's not forget that in the environment in which we live in, being, as we have all seen, sometimes speaking up on these issues, the blowback that you will get in advance is very vicious. And so, I appreciate him for doing this. Let's keep going. And again, taking another sharp shift. Fedez, just about the most controversial person in this show, and that's saying something. He, we talked about him on the iceberg. Half of the Italian music industry hates him, and that's the half that likes him more. So let's have a little listen. So I didn't get it.
This is a good example of, if you live with the songs at San Remo, you have multiple chances to go with it. We went in on the Monday for press rehearsals. We watched Fedez and Massini perform it. None of us got it. I didn't. I always felt the song felt like a Marco Massini song that Fedez kind of trampled into and was doing a rap all of a sudden. As time has gone on, for some reason I've kind of connected with it, and as a song. I have my views on Fedez as a person. They don't necessarily correspond to my views of the song. What I found interesting was actually the difference between the international look at Fedez and Massini and the Italian one. Because a lot of the discourse I heard was about Marco Massini and his voice.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting voice. It's a very acquired taste voice.
Yeah, I was thinking this because I wasn't a fan, but go on.
Italians love him.
Yeah?
Everyone's talking about how good the fit was, actually. People were talking about, but Fedez and Massini, when they harmonise, it's so good. And, yeah, to be honest, the vibe I had in the week was that it was going to win.
You genuinely thought it was going to win?
Right up until the Friday or the Saturday. I thought that because Fedez was such a known quantity, people were connecting with the song, had great streaming numbers, it had been top 5 the whole time. But then their covers night was a bit and a bit weird. And I think that turned some people off. And by the time it got to the final, people had already moved on to people like Sal Da Vinci or Safe or other people who'd done better performances through the week.
It's interesting, isn't it? The way these things evolve. It's the ultimate show of narrative, if you know what I mean.
Ultimate show.
I think
someone called it the test cricket of Eurovision.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I'm skipping through. I think we will talk about Safe next. Just want to check if there's any we've missed in the super final. Yeah, Safe and then Sal Da Vinci. We'll do those two. And then we're going to take a quick look. So they're going to be back here somewhere. We'll do Sal last, but we'll do Safe first.
Yeah, that feels right.
So, I love his, he has this kind of boyish charm, you know what I mean? It's very Italian. Oh, you've frozen briefly. Yeah, I presume. Oh, there you go. You're back.
Yeah.
Really positively surprised me. Nearly took the whole thing. I mean, let's look how close it was. 0.3%.
Yeah, and it won the televote by a little distance as well.
So, James, your take.
So the song "Tu mi piaci tanto," it means I like you a lot. And I have to give credit to Dudepois, who I was out in San Remo with the whole week, who did so much. She did this amazing research dossier that I just like relied on all week with all of the translations and things. So that was really helpful. And she explained to me, this is a song about Italy being a contradictory country. Like there's things like the North-South divide in Italy, which we'll get to with Sal. People's opinions on things always being different, people being very argumentative, very passionate. And it's kind of saying all of these things are true, but they all make us Italians. And that's something we should celebrate as a country. And actually, I like you for all of those things. All of those contradictions are what I like. That's what the song is about. And I think as the week went on, the message just connected and connected and connected, and people found something in Safe that worked. I think it helped as well that he had a very fun covers night where he played the trumpet. And he does a thing where he goes, "I need a trumpet. Where is my trumpet?" in very broken English, and it just looks like he's having the biggest laugh. He was doing "Hit the Road Jack" of all things.
Oh, brilliant!
It's proper fun.
I used to. That was when I was in a choir when I was a kid. We did "Hit the Road Jack," and I was the one who got to go, "What you say?" So it has a special place in my heart. No, I think he's what some people just exude this natural charisma. I think also, we've been talking a lot about San Remo is kind of, this is Italy, warts and all. And so it makes sense that a song that kind of connects to that a little bit, that sort of says, this is who we are, would then, sort of be very successful. We should, though, talk about the winner. And I have to say, having listened to the songs now, possibly my favorite as well, because, again, it reminds me of my fiance. So, Sal Da Vinci is singing about how much he loves his wife.
Yeah, just straight up. There's no hidden meanings here. This is a song about how much Sal Da Vinci loves his wife and that he will always and forever say yes. Per sempre sì, forever yes. I'll be on it. Because Dude had done the research pack, we went in on the Monday. Sal Da Vinci was a slightly known quantity. He was third in 2009 with a ballad. He's mainly known for singing ballads. So we all went into it thinking, okay, Sal Da Vinci is going to do a nice, pleasant love song ballad in the San Remo style. Obviously, you don't hear the songs before, like anything. So we had no idea what was coming. He walks onto the San Remo stage, pretty unassumingly, and then the beat starts, and within a minute, everyone in the press room is chanting.
Wow.
2 minutes in, the tech fails. No problem, because that means he has to perform again. And we get to hear it again. And yeah, I fell in love with this the moment I heard it. It just felt like an instant San Remo song. Like something that had been around for 20 years. It has that timeless quality. I know people have said it's dated. I think it's timeless.
I agree. It feels like he's been dropped straight out of another century, but it works beautifully. It's so authentic. Here. And I have to say as well, I absolutely love that visual at the end. He's like, io, e te, It is such a brilliant moment, right? And that kind of moment, and I saw that, I was like, ha! It's amazing. And there's loads of brilliant edits of when he does this, and then just it explodes.
Yeah, explodes. There were loads of like AI memes that went around with Sal Da Vinci. He became very much like a meme darling in the week. Because the more the week went on, I think the more people just kind of, in a way, gave in to the power of Sal Da Vinci.
Yeah.
Because this is not a song that should, in theory, win a Eurovision contest. He is 56 years old. That is not the conventional Eurovision age. It is not the conventional... It's a tallow disco. This is not what San Remo is technically really about. Songs like this don't get these opportunities, really. But there is something in Per Sempre Sì that is magic. It's magic. Like, every part of it just makes you feel happy and warm. And I think of my partner when I hear this song. And I think everyone who has a partner probably thinks of their partner when they hear it. It's just this beautiful, wholesome, happy thing done by a very happy guy. who is nothing but nice. I mean, artists come and do press conferences in the press room, so we get to see the artist once or twice through the week. Sal was on the Friday, so we had to wait for the Sal Da Vinci one. Easily the most well attended. Queues a mile long. Like everyone wanted a piece of Sal Da Vinci. Everyone wanted to feel like the sparkly aura around him.
Yeah, people are saying, by the way, I should put this on my wedding playlist. Absolutely, yes. That's
This is forever. Yes, that's what the song's called.
Oh, quite. But no, he's just infectious. I'm really, really hoping he does some stuff with fan media because Eurovision, Italy doesn't always do that. And I think the more they put his personality out there, the more Eurovision fans will like adopt him as a real darling. Luhani says Sal Da Vinci carries the energy of a grandpa fondly recalling his marriage. He is a grandpa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got grandkids, so that is exactly who he is. He dances with his wife during the performance, if I'm not mistaken. Like he pulls her out of the audience. Is that his wife or is it someone else?
It was different women through the night, but he would pull someone out of the front.
Okay, I was wondering if it was just his wife, which would have been great.
There were a few people who brought their mums out this year, which was funny. Safe brought his mum out.
Aww. It was a random woman, apparently.
Yeah, I thought it was a random woman. I would have heard if it was his wife.
Someone's like, grandpa at 56. That's not like that. Like if someone has a kid at 28, which is not that unusual, and then their child also has a kid at 28, you're a grandpa at 56.
Yeah, that's fine.
Quick maths. 28 times 2 is 56.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Me from the model approves your maths. No, I think the only reason people are not talking about Sal Da Vinci as being right up there is because they haven't heard the song yet. The moment you hear this song in full, it just hits. I can't explain it. It has just got some kind of fairy dust in it.
I want to do an interview with him where we only just talk about how much we love our significant others. No questions about anything else.
Let's just set that up. Seriously, because I'm desperate to have that conversation because I think he is going to be one of the biggest stories of this contest, which I got to go to. And I'm not sure if you noticed, Gabe, but I've literally had my San Remo press badge there the whole time.
I did. In fact, I noticed that straight away.
Yeah.
That one is staying up on display, I think, for a while.
Yeah, I do have a collection, but this one is slightly special. Yeah.
Targa Holmquist says, I do love Sal Da Vinci. It's the Ma non tutta la vita win that we never got. Love that. Apparently, he was born in New York.
He was born in New York, yeah, but he grew up in Napoli, in the Neapolitan, and he's very much a Neapolitan singer. That's his genre. Sure. It kind of reflects that. It's really interesting because Italy has this real north-south divide. Yeah. Between and Napoli has always been representative of this. And you had Giolier a couple of years ago, if you remember.
I remember that, yeah.
Infamous sandwich vote thing, obviously. But he was from Napoli, and everyone got behind it. And it was a similar thing here. Sal Da Vinci literally said at the press conference after that he dedicated the win only to the people and the music of Napoli. Not Italy, of Napoli. There's a big, big distinction there. So this was like the South getting one over on its rich neighbours in a way. And I think a lot of people backed Sal because of that part of the story.
Yeah, Italy's internal politics is a whole... We'd need 10 streams to begin to explain it.
Forever.
So, 2 more things. We're going to quickly look at some internal selections. And then we're going to look at the semi-finals. James, this has been a marathon. We're past 3 hours. Your longevity is appreciated. Yes. And I know there's ramen waiting for you, so we will not take too much longer, I promise.
Well, the worst thing is Gabe knows that he has to record for Inside the Model, which is the new The Model podcast.
Oh, yeah, we're doing that straight after this. We'll get through it. It's fine. Let me just find... I'm on Eurovision World. I'm looking for the calendar, which they've now... Where have they put my calendar? /calendar.
They moved it.
Well, they don't need it anymore because it's a national final season calendar. I just got to remember the songs that have been internally selected recently. So, in the last 7 days, so since the 8th, that means it's Czechia, Armenia, Georgia. I mean, we could start with Azerbaijan. I mean, for legal reasons, we do not wish to discuss whether or not this song was produced by AI.
Yes, echo that.
Fuad Javadov, please don't send me legal threats, as you have already done to some people on Twitter by the looks of it, because I saw some very suspect-looking tweets which were like, hello,
Yeah.
I would like to retract my previous statements. My sincere apologies to Fuad Javadov. Yeah, I mean, last place in the semi-final, and it's Azerbaijan, so I don't really want to talk about it anymore. I don't know about you, James.
Yeah, do you know what? I think that kind of sums it up, to be honest. I mean, outside of that whole discourse, the song is just a bit boring.
Jiva down, you could say. Now, Georgia, what did we...
That was bad.
What did we think of Bzikabi's song?
ZKB. This is kind of fun. I didn't mind this. It's got a lot of energy in it. You see the 4.5-star rating for it. Yeah, I think this is a very fun, energetic song. They have the tattoo sound going on, it's like the and a lot of it. Always appreciate that. I think borderline for the final.
Yeah, I think it could definitely qualify. It's fun. I remember listening to it being like, I'm enjoying this more than I expected to. Also, funny to talk about this after Azerbaijan. Can't digitize our thunder. I saw somewhere that like this song is like about like an anti-AI song.
Yes, I've heard that as well. We'll see how anti-AI that ends up being, but yeah, interesting. What to say about that?
Thanks so much, Lou, who says, by the way, where's our Sal Da Vinci poll? I'll put it up now. Continue, James.
Oh yeah, where is your Sal Da Vinci
I'll do
poll?
it. I'm doing it. Keep talking about
there we
Bzika
go.
in the meantime.
Yeah, can the Sal Da Vinci poll just be, do you love Sal Da Vinci? Yes, yes, but in another colour.
Yes.
Thank you. Because I love Sal Da Vinci. Only second to Electra Lamborghini, of course, in the San Remo state.
There we go. There's your poll.
But what else has been released internal this week?
Switzerland. Oh, was that this week? We'll come to it, but Armenia first.
Yeah.
This song is just loud. But I also said that about Parg.
Sorry, who's that? That's the wrong first letter, right?
Oh, shut up. Armenia, this sounds like it was recorded in a cathedral. There's so much reverb on everything. To be honest, I don't get it. I really don't get it at all. What do you think?
Right now, it's not qualifying for me, but there was a concept in the music video of like he's got all the post-it notes, he's kind of in the office, and it's all very drudgery, kind of like Look Above No Code Computer, actually. I think there's a staging concept there, and that's the kind of thing, because we all said that Survivor was probably going to go out, and then they got the treadmill, and then that all changed around. So, you know, Armenia could have a very similar trajectory on that front. Wouldn't be surprised if there was good staging.
We'll talk about this in a minute, because Armenia got through last year because it had France in its semi-final. We should bear that in mind. If it weren't for the fact France was voting, it was not going through. But yeah, noisy. I quite like the lyrics are a lot better than I Papere Bye. I'll say that. Like the lyrics actually have meaning, and it's a meaning we can all get on board with, which is we're really sick of shitty office jobs. I mean, I quit mine to do this. No, and also I actually quite liked my job before I did this. Everyone I worked with was really lovely. I saw some of them at a wedding yesterday, actually. I missed them all. Anyway, besides the point. Yeah, so well done, Simon, for writing lyrics that are much, much better than I Papere Bye. And I was relieved because I was worried when I heard it was Simon, we'd get something like I Papere Bye, which I wouldn't have enjoyed at all. We have Daniel Zizka with Crossroads, which is, where is it? This article isn't, there we are. Boop. Big jury potential. Big. Thank God jury's in the semi-finals, because I think I'd be worried about this if there weren't juries. I think it's a safe qualifier because there are. Provided he can sing it live, which I get the impression he can.
I would think so. Obviously, we haven't seen it. We don't know, but you'd think so. You'd hope so. This is the jury darling of the year. This is the Zoe May of this year. I'm not sure it'll be that extreme. Obviously, in the model, which we did way earlier, like what feels like years ago, 150 televote, 3 jury. No, in reverse, 150 jury, 3 televote.
Yeah.
That kind of split could really, really happen with this, because juries will eat this up.
Yep. You know who else got 3 from the public and a much bigger jury score? Nadia Rustamli, 2022, Fade to Black, which is the only song ever to qualify with 0 in the televote. I don't think this will get 0 from the televote, but it shows you that you can qualify by doing just well with the jury. You got like 112 from the jury, then the televote was academic. Because you get 112, you're in. There's basically no scenario in which you score 112 points and don't get into the final. I think
the Czech selecting this.
so. Good job, Czech Republic. Thank God you are here because I really was worried they were going to pull out. I'm glad they've stayed because this is a great song. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. With that, semi-finals. Let's have a look. Semi-final 1. I'll zoom out a little so we can get all the songs on screen. There we go. So here is our first semi-final. And so we have Croatia, Andromeda, Liekhenheten, On Replay, Falto, Viva Moldova, Rosa, My System, Dancing on Ice, On the Ice, Too Epic to Be True, Michel, French Mr. Krabs be like, Sola Quiero Mas, Nova Zora, Pray, Superstar, Kraimene. Those are our songs. Pick 10. Who's qualifying?
Better semi-final of the two. And before you go on, the model's telling you this is my opinion. This is not what I built. I think Croatia will be good. Finland will be good. Georgia is a question mark. I'm going to say just. Greece will be fine. Moldova will be fine. Portugal, no, but it'll be close. Sweden, obviously. Belgium, no. I just have a feeling that won't connect on both sides. Estonia, no. Israel will go through.
Yeah.
Lithuania will go through, I think, off juries. I think they'll get behind that. Montenegro, I'm going to say yes. I think that'll get in. Poland, no. San Marino, no. And Serbia, yes.
So we'll talk about Switzerland in a minute when we talk about semi-final 2. We didn't talk about that yet, which maybe says a lot about what we're thinking. But we'll get to it. I do want to highlight the message of the music video and stuff, which was really interesting. But we'll come to that in a moment. I'm going to for ease, I'm just going to name the 5 that aren't going to qualify: Belgium, Estonia, Poland, San Marino. Those are the 4 obvious ones. There are 11 songs beyond that competing for 10 spaces. One of Portugal, Montenegro, Georgia, I think, are in this group, which are on the bubble line.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Those 3, in my opinion, one is not qualifying, but they will all finish 11th or higher. I think most likely at this stage, even though it's in its own lane, most likely Portugal is what I'm saying for now.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
So yeah, Amara and I, you've listed 6 countries. So one of those 6 is qualifying. I can tell you that because there's only 15 in the semi-final. You may remember that the contest antagonized a bunch of broadcasters so much they left. But yeah, someone says, Poland is 100% qualifying. You are all wrong. Well, I guess they've entered like 2.5 songs. So, maximizing their chances.
Yeah, they're giving it a go. They've got the R&B song, the gospel song, and the rap song.
Yeah. But I will say, I do think, I've said this before and then ended up being very wrong. We all remember the Slovenia, Portugal, Azerbaijan moment from 2025. This, I really, it feels like a bit of a non-event in terms of who are the 10 countries, or at least 9 of the 10. But imagine we get into the results and the first thing they say is, and the first qualifier is Estonia.
We'd get a recreation of the great meme shot, wouldn't we?
Yeah. And
do it again.
Yeah. And the thing is, do you remember when Dons qualified out of the blue in 24? It happens every year. Something there is one complete Hail Mary, had no idea that was going to happen. If I can see a little lane for Estonia to do that.
Narrow path.
But it's a tiny one, like a 2%er. We'll move to semi-2. Quickly, before we talk about anything else, Switzerland is here. Veronica Fusaro with Alice. It's, in my opinion, not a very Eurovision song. The video is telling a story about domestic abuse, I believe. And the visuals are really interesting when you view it in that context. So make sure if you haven't watched it already, or if you didn't know that information when you watched it, go back, have another look. I have to say, in a Eurovision context, I'm not sure about it. I think you've got to get the meaning of the lyrics across. And actually, you read the lyrics, and you can tell it's this kind of, abusive man, manipulative man to a woman kind of thing. You have to try and get that meaning across. It's a tough thing to do, but maybe they will. What do you think that they should do with this?
Tough one on the staging. There's potential in it, but I'm not sure where you want to take it without it being mawkish. So that's a fine line they've got to play. What I will say, I really like the song, even if it's me having a soft spot for it and me not thinking about it as a Eurovision contender because it has issues there. But I like it as a song. I hope it does well. I am a fan of it. It will be my soft spot song for the year, and I will see what happens from there. I hope that it'll get to the final. If not, then we're going to have the end of a really long qualification streak because Switzerland haven't missed one since 2018.
I mean, the thing is, it's still quality. My point is not that I don't like it. It's that I think it won't be appreciated in this context, which is a shame. Someone says that that's Eurovision's problem, not this song's problem. I actually really agree with that. And people are saying there's a double meaning because some people interpreted it as being like a sapphic thing. And I think generally artists, when people ask about this kind of thing, they say, well, everyone's welcome to their own interpretation. So if you interpret it in that way, I say go off. Absolutely, sure. Let's name our 10 to qualify from this one. I'll go first this time. So the 5 that aren't qualifying.
Yeah, we'll just do the 5.
Azerbaijan, obviously. I think this is giving the Mariam Shengelia obvious non-qualifier. Although Mariam Shengelia didn't finish last in that semi-final. Anyway, Azerbaijan, I think, is gone. Luxembourg is gone for me. Oh God, it can be quite tough actually. And I need to pick 3 more, don't I? Armenia, for now. Switzerland. Oh gosh, Latvia. I'm sorry. I want Latvia in the final, but I think, that would be my 5 not to go through. What about you?
I'm not far different. I would say Azerbaijan. That's looking very, very unlikely. Armenia will probably be out at this point, but the staging might work, so who knows? Luxembourg probably just. I think that might be a case of the jury is there, but the televote may not be. Then it gets really, really difficult, to be honest. I think Norway won't make it.
Okay.
I have a feeling that's just not going to land enough. And it's not going to be appreciated artistically by the people that need to, particularly on the jury end, because of how many strong jury songs there are in this competing pack. Like Albania will get jury points, Latvia will get jury points, Switzerland will get jury points. God, how many have I named? Armenia, Azerbaijan, Luxembourg, Norway. And then it's so hard to call. So hard. I'll have to say Switzerland just.
Yeah. I think
This is not cool.
Yeah. On the flip side, I think Denmark is going to win this. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Denmark is winning the semi-final, in my opinion. I think it has easily the most appeal. Ukraine will be close, but it's those two, in my opinion.
I would say watch out for Australia.
If she delivers an incredible performance.
If she delivers the performance, there's going to be no question on Delta's vocals. So that's a watch the space with that one. I think it's got a lot of potential.
We should say, I forgot to say, who's winning semi-final 1. I think it's Finland.
Yeah, I'd say Finland are most likely.
I think Israel will not have the jury, either to win the contest or to win the semi-final.
Agree with that.
And to be honest, that kind of song that Israel has usually doesn't do very well with the jury and has less appeal to the public than the, sad girly ballad. So I think it could come third in this semi-final, which is quite something for, to be honest, for Israel at the moment. I think Finland and Greece could both finish above it. And Sweden is obviously in amongst it as well. I think those 4 will dominate.
100%.
But yeah. Oh, I haven't closed the Sal poll, so everyone can just still vote on how much they love Sal Da Vinci.
Oh, wow.
There we go. End poll.
How much do you love Sal Da Vinci?
So 100% of people say yes, they love Sal Da Vinci.
Forever, yes. Fantastic.
We're with that, I think it's time for us to wrap up on this marathon 3-hour, 20-minute stream, James. Thank you so much for joining us. The model, which of course we did at the start of the stream, you can see all of the data behind that tomorrow. It'll be on the ESC Insight website, and obviously there will be updates every single week.
And a podcast.
And a podcast about it. In addition to his regular podcast, which is Eurovision Uncovered. It's all on ESC Insight. Yeah. It is the best Eurovision podcast, bar none, in my opinion.
That's...
It's true. It's true, James. It's just true.
We have 3 coming. So I did strips to Croatia, Italy, and Sweden. We've got documentaries from all 3 coming. They're in the edit train at the moment. They are wildly ambitious. For Sweden, we did a particular shot that Gabe helped with. I think you will find nuts.
Oh, I really love doing that. That was loads of fun. So, all that coming. Well, I will say before we go, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My Discord server is in the description if you want to talk more about Eurovision with everyone else who is in the chat here right now. So make sure you go and join that. If you want to support the channel financially, obviously this is my full-time job. My Patreon is in the description. You've had people doing super chats and stuff tonight, so feel free to do that. Feel free to become a YouTube member or a Twitch subscriber or just donate through coffee. The point is all the links are down there. If you want to do any of that, greatly appreciated. I have really, really enjoyed this. I'm really glad we did the early start time so we had time to properly go through everything.
Yes.
But after almost 3.5 hours, it's time to love you and leave you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, James. And we are going to wave and say good night.